Boys, so I was shopping today. It's been a while since I've been to a Walmart, and especially in the toy
Oh,
section, but the electronics
a
section.
little bit of a flex.
Well, right? And I was hunting for DVDs for the first time in a very long time. Okay.
Ben, we told
Now,
you Blu-rays only, please. Come
okay,
on.
when I
It's
say
23.
DVDs, I mean Blu-ray or
Oh,
4K,
I thought he was
whatever,
digging in the big
whatever I
ass
can
bin.
find
That's right.
specifically. But I was digging in the big ass bin
He
because they've
was
got the
nuts deep in
five to
that big ass bin.
$15 bin, right?
Wow.
And I found Spider-Verse on Blu-ray for $12. And I was like, sweet, I'm gonna totally buy this.
You haven't bought it
And
in
then I
the past
hummed
4 years?
and hawed and hummed and hawed and hummed and hawed. And I walked all the way to the front of the store with it, and I ended up leaving it on a display shelf. And the reason for that was I collected DVDs for years. I had probably 400 like original quality DVDs that are now worth absolutely nothing. You can't even give DVDs away. And I keep questioning myself with all these streaming services and all the things that are available to us nowadays. Does it even make sense for me to collect physical media like that and DVDs?
Yes.
So my question for you guys is, do you guys still collect DVDs, 4Ks, Blu-rays, whatever it is? And what was the last one you bought?
Bro, we're all gonna have opinions on this, but yes, I still do collect the 4K Blu-rays. I'm a big Blu-ray and DVD and 4K Blu-ray collector. You gotta collect the ones that you really love though, because you can never rely on those services to keep the titles up, right? Because now they're kind of pulling them up, pulling them down. If you really want to watch a film, especially in the highest fidelity, you gotta just buy it. Wait for Black Friday though, because you get them for like $10 for the 4K Blu-rays. But Zach, you got an opinion on that? You look.
I I mean, I have right now 271 movies in my Voodoo, and a movie like a brand new movie costs like what, $30, right? You can get codes for these movies anywhere from $15 on the high end to $3 to even just $1 on the low end. And if you have friends that don't use the codes, one of our listeners, Ricardo, was like, "Yeah, I don't use the code. I'll give you the code for I think it was for John Wick 4." And all of those movies are on all of my devices. I can go to my parents' house and watch those movies. I can go to any house that I go to and watch these movies at any time. I can watch them at the gym. And if you have, I don't know, if you have decent Wi-Fi, like my house is gigabit, so the 4K streams just as good. Of
It's definitely
those,
not just as good, but I hear what you're saying. They're pretty
of
damn good normally.
of those 271, there was only one time that I haven't been able to watch a movie that I wanted, and it's because they were upscaling it from standard definition to high definition, like kind of like a free thing that they were doing, and I couldn't watch it for like a day. Granted, on iTunes, there has been times that I've bought an album. I used to listen to this radio station, and this was back like 2008. They did like a best of CD that you could buy. It was just like basically collect weekly clips for this radio station. And when they changed from their normal media to iHeartMedia, they took it off iTunes, and I don't have access to it anymore. So that's the only time I've ever had a digital media do that. Now, I completely agree. Like, if you own it physically, no one can ever change it. Because there's been times where some movies have been edited to remove like things that are a bit insensitive these days. If you have it physically, obviously they can't do that. But the convenience and the cost for me, outweighs the potential risk of that. And it's really nice because a lot of them have special features. Like, you can really do a lot with it. So I I want to say the last physical disc that I bought, funny enough, I think was Spider-Verse. Um, and I only bought it because it came with a Miles Morales 3 3/4 figure on like a card. Sony used to do them with like Venom and Spider-Man. And I had bought it, I want to say probably about a year after the film came out. I had to actually pay a little extra because it was sold out. But no, well, we did that custom run of Lord of the Rings film, so maybe. But no, I don't buy physical media. I either stream it or have it on Vudu. But I think there's a lot of
You
good
know-
points you guys have made for sure.
Counterpoint before Dean goes. Sometimes if you wait until the physical disc is cheap enough, it comes with the code anyway. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. You get the code, you get the physical disc just in case.
The
What do you
only
think,
thing is WB. So the codes have expiration dates on them, so you can't wait too long. However, most studios, even if it's expired, the code will still redeem. But WB is one of the only studios where when the codes expire, they are dead.
Yikes.
And so, for example, the movie of the week today, Spawn, I went to go buy the code, and it was on that expired list. So, like everyone that has codes, if you didn't sell them or redeem them, they're just they just don't work.
That's brutal.
So, yes, you can get them cheap enough, but if you wait long enough for certain studios, they're not viable. So, just be
Fair
careful with that.
Yeah, I think it's a smart idea to buy physical copies. Just this week, we saw a customer of Amazon Smart Home get his entire house turned off because the Amazon delivery guy thought he heard something through the intercom that apparently didn't happen. I don't know the story. But Amazon took it upon themselves to turn off all his shit. So when you get companies that think that, even if you're a paying customer, they have the right to take something away that you're paying for because they disagree with you about something. Because unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
What did they hear? Like, he's like, I'm going to murder that guy out there.
He said he heard a racial slur through the intercom, which I don't know. That makes no sense to me.
This is Amazon that did this?
Yes.
Wasn't
I
my
gotta look into this.
This was
Whoa,
June 13th, 2023. So this just happened.
And this is
Amazon
someone that was dropping off a package that thought they heard it.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay.
So when you have, again, companies that think that, you bought this stuff, but we're going to take it away whenever we deem it necessary. That's kind of fucked up. So if you own a physical copy, no one's going to take that away from you. Now, unfortunately with this guy, Amazon shut the electricity off of his house. So, not much you could do there except, call the city and change provider. But
I'd be
Yeah.
really curious where this
wait,
person lives
what?
because how the hell can Amazon even do that? That's why.
you have a smart home. Everything's run through them. I guess. I don't know how that works. But, I mean, we see it pretty often.
I don't think his power was cut. I think
Did Ben's grandma post this on Facebook and you stumbled across it?
Okay, so I'm reading
Amazon
the story.
shuts down customer smart home for a week.
His Echo, which controls a lot of his devices. So obviously, like if you have the smart bulb.
Okay, so let's
there's
just
a
say all
button,
his movies were on Amazon, and they're like, you can't access any of your fucking movies.
and then you're like, bro, you fucking
valid.
played yourself because if you had movies anywhere, you redeem it on Amazon and it shoots to all the other platforms.
I'm just saying
There is
the
some
world we live
built-in there is some built-in redundancy though, because with movies anywhere, when you redeem on one, it connects to all of them. So I have all my movies on iTunes, I have them on Amazon Prime, I have them on Vudu, and I have them on Movies Anywhere. So if any one of those services goes down, I can still watch the films.
Yeah, and if
No
your
server
internet goes
issues.
down,
You have no excuse to ever miss movie of
I have
the week, by the
LTE.
way.
What do you mean?
shit happens, Zach. Internet goes down.
If the internet goes down, my power's probably gone down. So then I
No,
wouldn't
it's
be able to
not
watch it
true
anyways.
at all. They do
You
maintenance
can still
on
plug in a
on-
DVD player with a generator.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
my
but
point.
I have
Like,
a phone that I can.
there's
watch.
a point where your redundancies end. So buy a.
But I would
fucking
say there's
physical
also
copy.
a point where the physical. I've had okay, so at my old house, I only had one disc, thing that could read disc, right? Because like my Xbox was digital, whatever. And when I needed to use it, the laser in the device stopped working. So I would say that for physical as well, there is a point if the disc gets damaged, water damage, whatever, any type of damage. If I go to Dean's house and he invites me in for the second time in my entire life,
Wow,
and
shots fired.
Dean is like, "Hey, let's watch this movie." I'm like, "Oh, it's at my house," or we could log into my Vudu and watch it there. There's benefits to both, 100%.
I'm not saying that there's not. I'm just saying.
I go to Ben's house and I hear a racial slur, and Amazon kicks me out. Like,
I'm just saying,
It was not me.
if you're gonna get the digital copy while you buy the physical copy anyway, just buy the
100%.
physical copy.
I thought you guys were going
the
to say
cost
you're
of 30
collectors
versus
and you like a
$5.
physical thing in your collection. I didn't think you guys would get
I don't
into
want someone
the
telling me
weeds
when
of
and when I
like
can't
Amazon
watch
shutting
this
down
shit.
my power and all this random
I don't
shit.
want anyone telling me when and when I can't use the shit I paid for.
This is a rabbit hole
Someone
of a
was delivering
question.
a
Nobody.
package and they heard someone was delivering a package. They heard Beaner and it just fucking everything shut down.
I said I was making
Actually, no,
baked beans. That's
actually,
all.
They heard Latin X, bro, and Amazon just fucking like Skynet, bro. They fucking shut him down, bro.
Not me, Jose.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collecting weekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Benito.
Bendito. What? Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank everybody out there in TV land and podcast land, wherever you're watching, whether it's live on the replay, literally wherever you're catching us. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you.
Look at this. Big Rib. Hey, Zach, hope you're doing better this week. I know your stress levels are better. Big Rib, my guy. I feel great this week. I have all the stress washed away from the shed thing. It's getting installed Friday. Got it all sorted out. But yeah, it's been a much better week for sure. We have so many people watching right now. 62 people. Let's do a bonus code for our Carnage Collector's Edition giveaway sponsored by Collector's Zone. Bonus code is going to be
Bendito. I'm joking.
yeah, Bendito. Bendito. Again, Bendito bonus code. Go ahead and fill that in. If you haven't entered yet, that's a bonus code entry, a regular entry, sub to Marco and Bendito's channel. You get 4 entries right off the bat. But
It's going to be a
anyways,
crazy show when I rock a huge nut on my shirt right from the get-go.
Wow.
wow.
You guys like
And
it?
he wiped it off earlier too.
You guys
Wow.
like it? Glad
There you
to
go.
have everybody here. Let's get it going.
We have a lot of people, almost 70 people here. Toy Mafia, Sam Gist, Need My Fix of CW, Thor Gaming, King Dingling, Trevor Weed, Calvin, aka the Loki Collector, Yomo, Badfish, Collector Joey, DJ, 14 Wellington, Abe Dunk TV. DJ says, I collect 4K movies. I also collect vinyl. I love that physical media. Erwin says, do a DVD giveaway like it's the 2000s. Doc Smizzle, 4K is most likely the last physical media format anyway. Physical media players aren't selling as much anymore. Pablo Meza, Jose G. Hernandez, Abe Dunk TV, DJ, Niculio, sounds like a dumb home. Big Rib, love that guy. Jordan Skinner, how does Amazon shut off his power? Yeah, we gotta look into that more. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. Renz Tolentino, love the Hobie Brown art that you did, bud. That's fantastic. Bad versus Zach, scared again by Dean's invites. Thor Gaming, we have SpongeBob SquareBalls. How you doing, Thomas? Carlito and John Ortiz, Mr. Mom's Collectibles. What's going on? Collecting Family. Has to be Bendito. There you go. Jordan Skinner, the price difference between physical is and digital isn't much. Rather get physical, which nets me the digital anyways. Erwin says, Ox Poppy looking fresh. It's that weight that I'm losing. Just kidding. Philip the Fool, Chris V, and Jazzy. We got Yomo in the chat also. We have a great show planned for you guys today. We actually don't have a lot to talk about. It could be a short show. It could be a long show. It is going to be a good show, though. And, Dean, we start off all of our good shows with a very special segment. that we start off all of our. Well, I got a little tongue tied.
Yeah,
there.
you guys.
I thought that was so
guys-
smooth.
The nuts.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What'd you get new this week? I got such a wonderful figure in this week.
Wow, how dare I? 12-inch Moose Stream, 1,000 apologies, my friend. 1,000 apologies.
I'd never
Sweet
skip you on the
guy.
Ben Thomas show. Just put it out there.
Okay.
Wow. Opening shit already.
Okay,
Second time.
Get him out
And
of here.
you're gonna have to make sure you catch him over there because this is his last week. So
That's my last thing.
Wow. Yeah, be sure to subscribe to the
Dean has the
Benito
power.
Thomas show.
yeah, so I got the Kits Concept Rick Hunter in his flight uniform, and it is such a wonderful figure. I have the original one here, and I don't know if the lighting is gonna be good on that, but the face sculpt is just so much better.
Damn, bro.
And
I
it
like
blows
his
me out
little
because the heads
bow
are
tie.
not interchangeable, and it kind of sucks. But yeah, it comes with a lot of little accessories, some faces, some goggles, his helmet.
Mixed media as well.
Yeah, totally cloth flight suits and little necktie.
I like his necktie.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
it's very 70s.
Zach's Wonderland colors.
Yeah, this is cool. So I'm super happy with this. What about you guys?
Yes, I will just say, I think I mentioned before, I was just getting buried with all these pre-orders coming in, so it doesn't really give you too much time to enjoy them, but I've been trying to space it out a bit. Just opened the KX Enforcer droid. I didn't have the K2SO, so it's a nice alternative. Honestly, beautiful figure. Even Gigi was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, the proportions are so odd. It's just a really interesting, unique-looking figure. Mando Luke Skywalker, incredible. Like, this is one that I had been waiting for so long. I got an Unreal Custom cloak as well, because they showed the blogger photos with these really dynamic, like, swooping images of the cloak, and I don't think the stock one could do that. So I didn't do anything too crazy yet, but really enjoying that cloak. And then my DeLorean came in, so really excited about that. And yeah, haven't unboxed it yet, but a lot of stuff coming in. Hopefully I get a little break here. Yeah, so
Is there
DeLorean Carnage.
Is there any word on potential changes, or did they just raw dog that and send it out for the
In terms
DeLorean?
of the DeLorean, yeah, I think
Yeah,
there
the
was some
struts.
speculation. There was some speculation that things were updated. Nothing that I could really verify, but from folks that I've talked to that have this second wave, there have not been issues. So I'm not saying there are no issues, but people that I know
haven't
that
seen
have
any.
gotten them in. Yeah, so it seems like maybe they did something different, or yeah, who knows at this point. So very eager to finally open it up. I've got where I'm going to display it, but I want to make it a special experience. So I think it'll... I thought about doing a live stream, but it'd be so tough to pull off. So we'll see. It probably will be in the privacy of my own living room.
Oh, it's naked and everything.
That's right. That's right.
Ben, did you get anything new this week?
I got nothing, except I did have a suggestion for Marco. In terms of getting some flowiness in the cape, I went to No Frills the one day and stole a bunch of twist ties. And if you like put the twist ties together, you can actually get some pretty cool dynamic flight poses out of it, because you can kind of drape the cape over the twist tie a little bit, but get it it's basically just a wire inside some paper. So
Interesting.
grocery stores,
Wow.
they got
Nice.
big cups of them. Yes.
I was like, I don't know what No Frills is, but all right.
There you go. Marco shops at
see it.
Trader Joe's.
That's right.
Shit's expensive.
I got to see Dean this weekend, and it was great. We touched peepees, and I gave him some things which, he doesn't have a photo of it, which kind of hurts my feelings. But I took a photo of what I got from him, and it was the symbiote suit Marvel Legends. This is actually my second one. Fun fact, I'm almost certain that I bought this in San Marcos like 5 years ago, and then I accidentally gave it to Dean in a box of stuff, and I've been looking for it for years, and he's like, oh yeah.
I bought this one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at any rate, it's nice to have it back, and I love it. And
Still got paid for it. Don't forget.
I did pay for it.
You did.
Don't forget. I did.
You didn't.
Wow.
I did. I'll send you the PayPal.
Is this the one with the classic packaging?
Oh, you have that one?
I do. This is like the only figure I have from the
Bro.
line, but Equan found me this. I was like, I need this symbiote.
Okay, well, when you sell it, give it to me, because I
All right.
have
When I
one.
sell it, give it to
I
me.
have a second one. I want a third one. No
Wow,
lie,
you need
it
them all.
may be my favorite thing I've bought this year. No lie.
Really? Just because of the
Toy-related.
posability?
It's so fucking posable. It's so durable. It is. I love the Mofex, but you handle that thing and it fucking falls apart. Feet fall off. The head falls off. Everything falls off. I love that thing. It's fantastic. I even like it better than the 2.0 they did of that with the blue. Has like the cell shaded.
Yeah,
and the
you
reason
have
is
that one as
because-
well?
Yeah, when you pose it, like if the blue doesn't match up, it triggers my OCD, and the foot toe articulation, it's a fucking pain in the ass. Joker Chase says, listening, and I heard touch beepies, amazing. Jordan says to find the receipts. I also got some more work done on one of my guns. Armageddon Armory, if you are in San Antonio, Texas, and you want anything done to your guns, they're not paying me for this, but they do fucking awesome work. It's super reasonably priced. We may, I was talking to the owner, Mario, we may be doing some sort of behind the scenes stuff for our gun channel whenever that happens. But they do like Cerakoting, laser engraving, sight installations. They don't do milling of slides, but pretty much everything else that you could think of they can do. And so I got this plate from Dove Dot Mounting Solutions, and it allows you to have co-witness in case your red dot stops working. You still have iron sights, and it's a super clean design. And big shout out to Dove Dot Mounting Solutions. Their customer service is fantastic. I had some questions about the mount, and no lie, I sent the message, and before I could leave the screen, they were already writing back. So
That's awesome.
really fantastic customer service in a world where, you know, a lot of companies, 1/6 scale and otherwise, don't write back to messages. Very impressed with the customer service. So these are great products. You can get them on eBay for like $80, and if you think about it, a good set of sights is going to run you about $60 anyways. So you don't have to mill the slide, and you can get your optic on there, and it's real flush to the gun, so it's pretty good.
How far does the sight normally go? Or there's not a laser, right? It's just the red dot.
It just projects it on that little glass.
Got it.
The bottom of the gun has a laser, but that's too much to use the laser and the red dot, and the sight is too much. But yeah, Armageddon Armory, if you're in San Antonio, and if you're not, they could take your stuff shipped in and then, you know, fix it and send it back out. So check them out. Equan says, we need a what gun did Zach buy this week segment. Next week I'm getting a gun. It's for my birthday on Saturday. I can't play with it yet. Just a quick.
Probably shouldn't play with it to begin with. You know, just put it out
Well,
there.
you
Although,
know what I mean.
you guys should when I come to OxCon though, we should live stream you guys showing me how to use a gun at a range. It could be pretty exciting. I've never held one, so it would be fun.
It could be fun. I don't think you can actually live stream people handling firearms, but
not the
best. Catch my live reaction after the fact. I'm all shaky.
We can put it on
I can see
Instagram.
it. Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that violates. It's
Let
weird.
us know. Let us know if you want to see me.
I say
friends posting them shooting their guns all the time.
I say an F-bomb on YouTube on our little show in the first 30 seconds, and I get like fucking the police called on me practically. Amazon shuts all my shit down. And then there's like a video of someone getting murdered with like 1 billion views, and I have to watch an ad to watch it. Right?
Yeah.
I don't get that. I saw a dude get eaten by a shark.
Well, I think you're underestimating
Egypt.
the size of our show. I think
That is true.
people.
I watched a guy get eaten by a shark on YouTube.
That
watch
shit
an
was
ad.
fucking crazy.
That shit was
You've
wild.
gone down
bro.
a real dark rabbit hole here.
Bro, that shark.
That just
from
happened. That
Ukraine.
was like, 4 days ago?
That was a Russian tourist. That shit looked just like Jaws. Anyways, yeah, you can do YouTube videos, Badfish, but you can't live stream it because I think, you know, they don't want you to ite yourself live. Yeah, Oxfalls are Glock guy. My new gun though is not a Glock, and we'll let you know about it Tuesday. Anyways, enough about the guns. Just an update from last week. Sideshow on the 9th launched the Wonder Woman for the WB100 and the Batman from WB100. Now, both of these did go to waitlist. The Wonder Woman much faster than the Batman, but both of them are on waitlist. It was interesting. Now, I was not a part of this because I don't care about either of these figures, and I'm not like a hype beast. And so from the grapevine, I've heard that the system that they used for people to order this was the same Hail Mary type of system where everyone's trying to get in. You know, you got in your cart, you're going to check out. oh, you didn't check a box, or just it's in someone else's cart now. And the question that I have for the panel, so we've seen this in the past, and then we've also seen the lottery type system. What do you prefer and why? That's not a hot seat question. I'm just curious. I like the lottery system. I think it's less wasted time overall. I think some people are obviously upset that they didn't feel they had a chance, but I crashing the website. The day before we noticed there was those wait time indicators, so I knew it was gonna be some shit like that. And I think overall, I think it went less smoothly than the raffle or the lottery system.
I have no preference. I honestly cannot even tell you the difference. I don't get it.
So the lottery system, so that for the people as well, you would sign up with your email, say, hey, I want the Wonder Woman and I want the Batman, and in the morning they would let you know, hey, you did get the Batman, you have 2 hours to purchase it, or hey, you didn't get the Wonder Woman, but stay tuned for the wait list. So you would know right off the bat whether you had one, and you had, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours to order. The sort of Hail Mary system is I think it was on Twitter was the first place they put it. It was like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and everyone rushes to the website. The website crashes. It's just a fucking pain in the ass, and everyone's fighting for however many units that they have. So do you have a preference? Like, I like knowing right off the bat that, hey, I don't need to waste my time trying. But there are some people that said, like, hey, if I F5 enough, like, I might be able to just, like, sneak one in.
Yeah, I've done it that way, where I just keep reloading and hope that I get one, and it's annoying as shit. So
we were live when that happened.
Yeah,
with
so
Chogokin.
Yeah,
and we stayed up like 4 hours for that. We did 4 hours.
It was a 4-hour stream. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, just listening to the lottery one, that sounds a lot more reasonable.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Marco? You're a sneaker guy.
Yeah, so I was a big proponent for the lottery system, but I did hear that some folks were making extra emails and giving themselves an additional lottery chance, which is smart as fuck, and I wish I would have thought of that. So that one could be a bit more rigged. Obviously, there's bots with the free for all system, but it seems like Sideshow has maybe hit the sweet spot, because this last run, I tried to get the Wonder Woman, but I was in the middle of work stuff. I was maybe 3 minutes late. So at that point, I knew I was cooked already. If you're not Johnny on the spot, you're done, because the link probably went live before then. I know folks that had success, so that's like a good sign that it worked. And it didn't last for hours. I think the problem with the Captain America drop was that shit went on for hours. It's like, it wasn't out of stock for a long time. So it dragged out. This one was pretty quick resolution on both of them.
It was fast, yeah.
Right? So, like, you knew whether you were getting it or not. You felt like it maybe had an opportunity. I had the Wonder Woman in my cart a few times, wasn't able to check out. And you know what? You take some L's sometimes, and that's just the nature of these limited runs. So I think Sideshow maybe has a good system at this point. I will just say I like that they're doing these kind of repaints or alternate versions of figures that they've had out before. Because if this was a figure that, or a character that you could only get from the lottery system, and I missed out, I think I would be upset. So as long as they kind of stay in this realm, it's cool, but anything beyond that could get pretty frustrating pretty quick. But what do you think, Ben?
Well said, by the way. Big Rib here says, man, I got the notice that Wonder Woman was available after it was waitlisted. Very interesting. I feel like if you're going to sit at the computer and like click the button religiously and hope that you get one, and if it comes through, then it kind of feels like you won the lottery anyways. It might as well just be a lottery system, because I have more time to participate in something like that. Like you, Marco, once I'm off to work for the day, doesn't matter what time of day that button needs to be clicked. If I'm not available, I'm just not available, so I'm going to miss it. At least if I can enter myself into a potential lottery, I think it's still a win for collectors. I think it doesn't waste as much time as the other method by any stretch. It doesn't have that same level of stress if you think you got it and then the system crashes and then like you're somewhere in the middle of a transaction. That's really stressful, especially when money's involved and this kind of money is involved. So for me, I think the lottery system is absolutely the clear winner for just my affection of collecting and for limited release options. I think the only other thing that I would say about a lottery system is that when they've done the lottery system that way, I've seen a lot of people say they didn't get it and a lot of people say that they did get it. So like it makes it feel legitimate, I guess, in my mind's eye, because it doesn't seem like there's any order to which people actually got theirs. It doesn't matter if they're an influencer. Doesn't matter if they're Joe Nobody. If you got it, you got it. Happy as a clam. So I think that's kind of cool, and it's easier to celebrate those people because even though I didn't get it, that's cool that you got it, Joe Nobody sort of thing. So yeah.
MB Dyson is saying, I never got one with the lottery, but I got a Wonder Woman with the free-for-all. So there you go. There's a success story. Go ahead, Zach, and then I can say what I was going to mention.
Yeah, Equan is saying, let's just knock down a few of these. If you wanted it and did your homework and put in some effort, you could have got it. It was easy for me. Carlito says it was a free-for-all. Alvin J, I prefer every person for themselves. The Batman was easy. That one was in stock. I know we were talking about it on Patreon. Some people were getting their money deducted from their account multiple times. One thing about the email system is the emails don't all go out at the same time. They hit send, and it may take 20 to 30. I imagine their email list is huge, and even running small-time email stuff for nonprofits like 100 people takes some amount of time for that to go through to everyone's email.
I got 5 emails, and I know other people did as well, so that was definitely overkill when it comes to that.
It was sad, depressing. 11 minutes before I saw that Wonder Woman was waitlisted, I was there at the first minute. Mr. Mom is saying Sideshow charged NRDs for multiple people multiple times, even though they didn't get the Wonder Woman. Marco, sorry, I know you had a point there.
All I was going to say, and this is less about the system and more about the Wonder Woman figure, I'm really curious to see how Hot Toys handles this rooted wool hair in terms of the shipping and the packaging, because we know what Inart does in terms of their containers, and I highly doubt that Hot Toys is going to take that much care. So this may, require a lot of futzing to make it look anywhere near this prototype here. So really curious to see how that plays out.
And our fanboy over here.
Wow. Okay. All right.
To the point on the lottery, 100%. There's going to be people making multiple emails. I see it with sneakers all the time. Excuse me. But there's also people with bots the other way. And it's similar like when Sideshow would do the rewards code drops. There would be people selling accounts with like $200 in rewards. So there's shitty people out there. You just have to, do what you got to do, I guess. I mean, if someone's going to take the time to make 100 emails to get a figure, then I honestly they
start doing it now. That way, when the next figure
one thing
comes out,
I would recommend is have a good group of friends in the Patreon chat for CW. For the lottery system, myself and a bunch of people signed up, even though we didn't want the figures. And if we converted, we were willing to just, sell it to whoever.
Lane said he had both of them in his cart at one point.
And he offered. So, so it's all about having good friends. You know what I mean? Now the Flash went up for pre-order. This one's actually just going back real quick. The Wonder Woman ended up being $400, and the Batman was $290. I know we were speculating on that last week. The Flash went up for pre-order. This one is $290, releasing July to December 2024. This one does have a special edition to it. However, in the past we've seen like a time countdown. I don't see one on Sideshow when I looked earlier. The special edition here is the Flash Signet Ring, which is actually probably one of the cooler special editions, right up there with the Batman modern suit. But let's freeform a bit. What do we think about this?
Ooh, so I got a lot of feelings on this. So I love that the base matches the rest of the Batman line that we've seen so far. I like that circular base that lights up. I think that it's cool to see some uniformity within this film line. That ring. Okay, I saw Big Bretta say he would slap somebody in the face if he saw them wearing that ring. And so I'm going to get this figure and get this ring and wear it in front of him and see what he does. Because
Ben, you're just like Calvin. There's no way this is fitting on your big-ass hands. 0% chance.
I'm going to try it. I'll wear it on a necklace if I have to. I think this is cool as shit. I
saw you drinking that beer bottle. It made that shit look small as hell. I was like, is that a Toronito or what?
Wow. I've always thought the Flash ring was a cool like costume idea, and for the Flash, I always thought it was really neat. I would think this would be something that would be really like a cool piece in the collection. It's like a prop collectible, not just a 6-scale collectible. So it's like 2-in-1, right? Which is awesome. I think this looks incredibly like Ezra Miller. I this is one of the best sculpts I've seen Hot Toys do in a long time. Even the cowled sculpt looks really friggin' good. Now, question would be, does this new light up body, is it USB? I don't know if it's been announced yet. I hope so, because those batteries traditionally just don't last very long. And I feel like the flash symbol has to be bright pretty consistently, right? If you're going to have it illuminated like that, I think it has to be. The only thing that I so far don't love about this suit from what I've seen is how many fold lines you get depending on the posability you put him in. I saw like the one solicitation photo where he's got his arm. Yeah, this one here on the right. If you go back a photo, Zach, the one on the right side, like the creases just above his shoulders there, that's pretty rough. I'd be worried about degradation on the material over time, or just material that doesn't heal itself very well. It kind of resembles to me that Spider-Man classic suit that we saw last year, just in terms of material choice. Either way, whether or not I agree with this person in his real or in their real life to begin with, that doesn't matter. I'm excited for this film. I think if the film does really well and I'm excited about the character, then I can put it out of my mind's eye who the person is underneath and actually just look forward to having this in my collection. I love the Flash as a character. Flashpoint Paradox, the animated film, is easily one of my favorite animated films of all time. So I'm really highly anticipating this story. And for Jose G. Hernandez out there, if Thomas Wayne is in this film, you will hear from me first, my friend.
Slapped.
Get slapped.
Get slapped. Oh my god. I'm going to double down.
I'm going to hold my little beer bottle now.
Go ahead, Marco.
Right. No, I was just going to double down on most of the things that Ben said, in that this looks incredibly cool. Like, this is a very comic accurate, or at least when I think of Flash, this is very close to what I think of. So I liked the Justice League version, but I really, really like this. I've got my concerns about the material as well. Like, that could stick to itself if we just got to see how it looks in hand. But overall, I'm all in on this figure. Pretty shocked that they gave us the unmasked head sculpt. I think maybe it was Carlito that said that in the chat here. Yeah, so he's not complaining, but he's kind of shocked that they gave it to us. I am as well, because knowing how problematic this person potentially is, it's like, you would have thought they would just do a mask and not the unmasked. But this comes with just about everything I could want. And if they give us a USB plug-in, then I don't know. It's just about a perfect release for a Flash figure, as far as I'm concerned. So one that I'm all in on, undoubtedly.
One thing that strikes me as interesting, the base on this, he seems to fit pretty well on this. And I know with the Batman that we talked about last week, he was like dwarfing the base. So I don't know if they have made this base larger or if Batman is just a monster of a figure. The newly developed body is going to be interesting. I think, like Ben said, it's got to be USB. I think anything less is a bit of a letdown. Likeness, I think, is fantastic. Ezra Miller has a very punchable face, and I think they nailed it. This man terrorized half of Hawaii for a year, and
they might be a bit too beautiful in the Hot Toys version, though. Like, kind of too much of a bad bitch, I would say.
They are a bad bitch, but yeah, I think this is a good figure. I like that they give you the hands, the ungloved hands rather. Perhaps a bit gimmicky with the luminous reflective effect. I don't like it when they do that, and the base itself doesn't incorporate the LEDs to display that. With the Black Panther from Black Panther 2, you had those little posts that went up that would illuminate the figure, and I think that was honestly one of the most impressive figures, and the utilization of those effects. But yeah, this is a cool figure. I don't personally know how excited I am to see this movie. I've heard a lot of really good things. I've heard some interesting things. I've seen some pretty bad CGI. But it's always nice that, Hot Toys is developing new bodies, pushing the envelope as far as the sculpts go. One thing that hasn't been mentioned yet, there's 2 additional faceplates, which are not yet shown. So there will be even more display options for this.
I thought that was just his running fast face.
There you go. Hopefully we get a little bit of
I never
excitement.
caught that at all.
Yeah. And the only critique that I really have, and it's really likely more a facet of the design, but there's like a black lining between the helmet and the faceplate, and it really makes it look like a faceplate. But looking at photos of the commercial and everything, I think that's just the way the suit is designed with that little black layer between. So it's certainly not Hot Toys' fault, but it of all the faceplates, they typically blend really well for other characters. This one, it very much looks like two different pieces, which obviously it is. Dean, 290. You got a ring if you're early enough. What do we think about this?
290, honestly, it's a little high from what we've been seeing lately, but it's much lower than I would anticipate. You get the light up feature, 2 head sculpts, 3 face plates, the lightning effects, all the hands, light up base. I don't know anything about this ring. He wears a ring? I thought that was a Green Lantern thing. What's the Flash ring? Is that from this movie alone?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know, but they probably do wear a ring.
I've never seen a ring on the Flash before, but
well, you'll see it in the movie.
Yeah, I think it looks fantastic. I think they fucking nailed it. I'm not a DC collector, and even this is tempting. This figure looks amazing. Barry Allen was my favorite inclusion in the what the hell's that movie called?
Justice League.
Justice League. Thank you.
Wow.
I thought he was a nice addition. I liked his humor.
Dean, which one in the Whedon cut or the Snyder cut?
Both.
Okay.
But I guess specifically the first one, since that's the first one I saw, I was like, okay, I like this guy.
I agree. He kind of carried, or they kind of carried the film for sure.
Yeah, my buddy Corey he loves Barry Allen. He won't ever shut up about Barry Allen. And I was like, I guess, like, whatever. So by the time I saw him on screen, I was like, oh, okay, like, I get it. Like, he's a cool dude. So yeah, this figure looks really good. I don't really have much negative to say about it.
David Hughes says, I recall someone from Hong Kong posted a pic that the USB cable is located somewhere near the bottom area of the figure, and apparently the suit comes out of the ring, allegedly for
it shoots out and he like zips into it. It's pretty freaking cool. Cool. Okay. I got a quick question for the chat or for you guys. If you've had an Ezra Miller Flash before, did he have did they have split cut boot design, or was it a solid boot? Because I'm having a hard time telling with these particular photos. It looks like it's split cut, maybe on the right side.
You can see it. Yeah,
okay.
On the right.
Because the CW Flashes I had, not only from Hot Toys but also So Toys, had like the non-jointed boot, and to make a figure look like he's running or they're running, and you don't have that split cut design, terrible. It just looks
terrible decision.
Looks so janky. Flash. Yeah. So hopefully this is split cut. It's hard to tell from these photos.
There we go. Now there was also a sort of a Hot Toys pop-up event to celebrate this figure in the film. So we have Flash, Dark Flash, the hashtag release the 7-pack. If we can get that hashtag trending, hashtag release the 7-pack.
It's gonna come. I want you guys to buy me the 7-pack if it comes. That's what I'm just putting it out there.
No, if it comes, you're buying us the 7-pack.
That's right.
There you go. They had the Batman on display, which honestly looked pretty fucking fantastic here. Faceplate notwithstanding, the new Batman 1989 with the 1989 Batmobile. I guess I got that picture in there twice. The Hot Toys is showing the Bat, which is really cool. I believe this is the 1989 version. I think the 2023 version is a bit more modern looking.
I think that one was also 12 scale.
Okay, yeah, that lines up with some of the rumors that we've heard.
Yeah.
They also showed the Batman 2019. They also showed the 1/6 scale 2019 Batman.
We need this. Come
Batmobile,
on, we need this.
Which is a must-have. If they can get this about $600, I'd be all over it.
It's not going to be anything less than $800. I'll tell you that.
Shut up, Margot. They also showed the Batman Bat Cycle, and the camo tumbler, which is interesting. We haven't seen that one in a very long time. Probably have a bunch of those in black that they need to repaint because they didn't sell particularly well.
Something I want some Hershey's Kisses. I don't know about you guys.
Wow. So nice little pop-up event, but let's move on. The Inart tease of the BVS Superman. This is obviously Henry Cavill. not a lot to go off of here. But that's the way that they do it, right? They give you introducing the next character to the stage, a little bit of a teaser. In the past, we've seen a Kit Kat and a stick. We've seen a Harry Potter wand. We've seen all kinds of things. And I wonder how interesting this is to people. The DC, they're moving forward from Cavill going forward. And, I think he's probably arguably one of the best to ever put the suit on. I'm wondering how that's going to affect their sales numbers, knowing that, there is going to be that new Superman in the suit. And with collectors having a very latest is greatest mindset, if this is going to affect the sales. What do we think about that?
How sure are we that this is BVS?
The logo on the bottom is pretty sure that's the BVS logo.
And they
right?
also posted a quote from BVS. They posted a quote from BVS during when they posted this online. So yeah, we're pretty certain. Yeah,
I would say we haven't had confirmation.
Because it could
There's
very
definitely
well
a
just
bat
be Man of
there.
Steel.
It goes like this, like the little. You don't see the wings there on the outside?
No, I see like.
Well, I'll send you my eyeglass
like
number.
rock or
Eyeglass guy.
something.
Yeah, it's like a winged rock, like a bat made of rock. Anyways,
That's
if
a
anyone,
stretch, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he's not the most interesting looking character. He's very simple, right? Just a blue spandex suit and a cape. Like, at least with the Harry Potter, it's like, look at all the layers and all the different ways you could display him, and you could have him with the robe on or off, his little fucking school jacket, like different kinds of stuff. But this, it's like you're really only gonna get one display option, and then you get maybe a couple head sculpts with the laser eyes. I mean, we've seen it before. I don't know how much better it could be until we actually see it, and maybe I'm totally wrong and it's fucking incredible. But just based on his boots, we've seen it.
Mark my words, America. That little Superman curl, if it's rooted, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare to deal with.
Oh gosh, you'd almost would want to go. Yeah,
guarantee you that is going to make some people so frustrated. Nicolio
you'd
says
almost want to go sculpted.
Yeah, it's the BVS boot design. Sorry, Marco.
There you go. Yeah, you'd almost want to go sculpted because you're right. You would not be able to preserve that curl. This is one that I'm incredibly excited about. I own 3 of the the Supermen from across all the Snyder films, and even then, I think this is one that I really want to add. I think that Inart can do something special here. This is insane speculation, totally tongue in cheek here. But what if they figured out a way for him to levitate? We're not seeing a flight pole in here. So what if, somehow just with the base, they've got him levitating? You never know what Inart can do. Totally tongue in cheek. I am joking here. But yeah,
bro, that might be the craziest thing that you've ever said.
Wow, you know what? I'm just saying. Just wait. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what Inart does.
Fucking super cool magnets.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
could you imagine, bro?
Fucking dry ice to get the figures.
That's how they get you to $1,000.
Could you fucking imagine? So anyway,
it's like like, write that down.
That's right. But no, this excites me even more because this is hinting that maybe they will do the BVS Batman, which I know everyone wants. I've got that version by Hot Toys. It's not perfect, but I think Inart could absolutely kill that. Now we know there's maybe some tricky stuff with Affleck and the license, so who knows what they're going to end up doing here, but this is one that I am glad that they're doing another DC figure instead of maybe like a Paul Atreides or something that I'm interested in but a little less excited by. I think this is the perfect next release.
Inart could make his stunt double look so good. Let's be honest.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
In those faceplates. Let me pull my inner GG out here. Marco, how many of these same figures do you even need? Right?
Can I address something really quickly?
I can hear this shit.
I'm so glad you didn't go with an accent, Ben.
Can I address something really quick, though? I'm stunned by how everyone's taking me seriously when I said this is tongue-in-cheek. and I said this phrase, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" I said it's a fucking joke. People, relax.
Never lick a horse in the mouth.
I need to check the
Marco.
camera. I didn't hear tongue in
I said
cheek.
this is tongue in
He
cheek.
definitely said
Anyways.
tongue in cheek. He said he was kidding.
Jesus,
Wow.
some people.
I could
Go ahead,
just
Ben.
see it now. They figure out a way to make it levitate, but then it won't levitate straight. So it'll be like my Superman is leaning in the
He's
air.
flying. Come on, he's flying.
That's a good one, Ben.
I think this will 100% sell, and I think they're still capitalizing on that loss that people are feeling right now, right? A lot of people loved Henry Cavill 100% as Superman, and while I think the future of DCEU is going to have a great Superman that we're all going to ultimately love, Cavill's still a man, and honestly, I would say this is the time for them to sell this figure because people are missing him and want to have that definitive representation of the character in their collection. I love the black suited Superman that I've got, but I would still consider either upgrading or getting this one as well. I only have the black suit. I don't have the classic red and blue suit, and I do have my Christopher Reeves blue and red suit. So I think to see somewhat of an evolution of Superman, I think that could be a really cool display. If they can figure out a way to make him levitate, Marco, I think that would be very, very cool. If not, I hope that they do something that's not like a standard flight pole, though, because a lot of the time those damage suits, and I end up standing my Superman figure as opposed to keeping him in flight pose. And I think a Superman should have some ability to have a flight pose without the risk of damaging the suit. So they might still be able to do something there.
So they might be able to do something magnetic as well, right? Like obviously joking about the
you would need
levitating a little bit.
incredibly strong magnets.
You maybe though, right? Because I've got I've got my Superman pose with a flight pole and then a paper clip wrapped around that and the two prongs up, and then you kind of zip down the suit and put the body, and it supports it no problem. So he's standing
Bro, you
that
gotta
way.
be
So
a
I think
fucking
there's a way to figure
engineer
it
to
out.
get your fucking Batman or Superman to fly. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, Inart could figure it out. You're gonna say, Dean?
Well, Ben made a comment of like, oh, it's a really smart time to sell this now because people are missing him. It's like, now? Bro, this is a tease. We're not going to see this figure for 2 years.
That's true. That is true. There's a bit of a wait time.
I'll be missing him in
but
2
it's
years.
still going to be, 2 years before we see a different Superman on the big
He's
screen.
not wrong. Carlito says, I wish Inart would focus on new characters that have been made. They're treading covered ground. Hard for me to be excited for this. I would also like to mention this comment. Affleck already signed off on the previous movies. They don't need to get it approved again for BVS or JL. Signed off with Hot Toys, not with Inart. That's a whole new process that has to get started, at least from how I understand it. Let's see here. Sam gets his tongue in cheek. What if it came with his dead dad?
Damn.
Holy
Ew.
Jesus.
Dark as hell.
Let's go back to Hot Toys and let's go back to, or we'll stay with superheroes rather. The Loki was released from the Loki television show. I'll be honest, this portrait is rough. I don't like it.
Oh, you crazy. You
He's,
crazy.
He looks like a damn
mean-
bird, bro.
I mean, he's,
Look at that picture on the
does
right. He looks
not
like
look
Stuart Little.
like a
He looks like Stuart Little on the right. Looks like a damn 800-year-old man on the right.
I mean, he's not as young as he used to be, bro.
This looks terrible.
Does it look like Loki from the show? Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, from the neck
Yeah.
down.
Does it look like Loki in my head? No. Right? You kind of have the idealized image of what Loki's supposed to look like.
No,
but
this is terrible.
the man's aged.
Look right here, Hot Toys Arthur Fleck, bro. That looks more like Arthur Fleck.
You can't pull the only
Oh my
comment that
God.
supports your point. Let's see some other comments.
There's only one comment. They haven't. Here, you know what? Let's get a poll going here.
Does
And
this look
Thomas.
like a little bird or an 80-year-old Loki?
He kind
Also,
of does
how
look
do
like
you
a bird, but
MB Dyson says Stuart Little is a mouse. That's the best comment ever.
Bro, how are you supposed to get a tie into this fucking collar? The collar attaches in the armpit.
It's the fucking future, bro. They have everyone has an infinity stone on their desk. They can figure that shit out.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I need to get my tie on. Can you grab me the reality stone so I can warp reality to get the fucking tie on?
oh, yeah.
What if it's a magnet like Marco with the flying
A
flying
clip on?
Superman?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
smart,
God.
smart.
Tongue in cheek. What if it's a? Just kidding.
Wow, holy cow! You know what, boys? So I will say, MB Dyson. So the second time I described what I was talking about, I think he's pretty spot on. You could have a pole with a magnet that attaches to the back of the figure through the suit. Yeah, I think that's possible. I think this looks
Oh,
great.
I thought
though.
you meant to make it float.
No, not to make it float. Come on, the floating was tongue in cheek, but how sick would that be? Anyways, this looks great. Honestly, he does look a little weird, but he's kind of an interesting looking cat. Anyways, so this is the version of Loki that I wanted to add. Incredibly excited to get this one because he's got that retro vintage look. It's I don't know, really.
This
it's a
is
little
the
bit.
Loki you want.
Bro,
This
what?
is the Loki that I want. Yeah, man. I really like the show. Like the show really spoke to me. So this would be a cool
The
representation.
business casual Loki.
I don't
Yeah,
know. This spoke Spanish.
Wow.
I think
what?
this is.
Oh my god. Replay the tape and ban this man.
What did you just say? What did
You
you
said,
say?
you said this show really spoke to me, and I was like, wow, I didn't know it spoke
Wow,
Spanish.
that's good.
Oh my god. Forget about it.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I
a fun
didn't
show
hate the
today.
show, but of all the Lokis that you could have got, like, picked, it's an interesting choice, is all I'm saying.
It's the
I
retro
don't hate
aesthetic
it.
though.
I
It's
don't
like how my
hate it
grandfather
by any
used to
means.
dress.
Yeah, it's
He
just
looks
like,
just like your grandfather too, with all those fucking. Look at that He's on the right, bro.
Y'all need
it's
to
just
chill.
like
You
he's
guys
in
are
a
crazy.
a 70s style suit. It's like the Avengers one didn't speak to you, like the Ragnarok one didn't speak to you. Like there's so many cool.
160's
God.
nuts. Corner desk Loki over him.
Yeah, it's
Oh
weird.
my god. No, I will say the Endgame one is one I wanted to add as well, but if I'm choosing between the two, this is like a little more interesting.
Abuelo Loki. I'll trust this Loki with my taxes.
Oh my God.
Loki, this is terrible. Ben,
Wow.
what do you think about this?
You guys are so hard. I have the Endgame Loki, and while I love that figure, I think this sculpt is superior. This is the best Loki sculpt I think that's out there for Hot Toys right now. I've seen some pictures on Facebook of people putting this head sculpt on their Endgame Loki so that he doesn't have like the helmet head look, and that looks
I was gonna say
so
this is
damn good.
Technically
good
the
that
same
way.
Loki, so it actually works.
Absolutely. It looks so damn good. I think this is spot on. I've seen, as I said, a lot of the in-hand photos from people. I think they might actually be better photos than these solicitation pictures, to be fully honest. I'm not going to lie, which is sad to say because these are supposed to be the professional blogger photos.
It happens every now and then.
Well, look, his
Ben.
daggers are floating. You
It
don't
must
see
be
that
custom
one.
Inart magnets in this hand. I was just going to say that, Dean. Yeah, 100%.
Trying to one up in art.
Look at how he gets to be just balanced just perfectly. But I think this is badass. I am going to skip on this figure though, because while I think it's beautiful as an artistry piece, I don't need a corner desk Loki, as somebody said.
UPS.
P.S. Loki.
I don't need a
Someone
UPS
Photoshop
Loki.
what can Brown do for you?
Yeah,
Oh,
but there's like
You guys
This
are
is
so
a-
fucking funny.
a complimentary Loki. You would get this to like improve your existing Loki. So it's like,
Yes.
is that really worth almost $300? I'd probably just see if I could get the head sculpt on eBay or something.
I'd buy it.
But when we talk about,
80, 90
collecting figures you have an emotional attachment to, this Loki had the most, emotional arc, really. Honestly, even compared to his
You're
arc through
not
Endgame,
wrong.
right? This is like a very interesting Loki in terms of characterization. The uniform may be a bit goofy
finish
to a
the
lot of
show.
people, but yeah, of course he didn't.
He
But
goes
yes.
through a lot of growth in this show.
I stopped watching it before the last
I
episode.
might actually rewatch it, to be honest.
Bro, you didn't make it to the last episode? That's,
Well, I made it to the end of the
The last two
before the last
episodes are
episode.
probably the best.
yeah, the last
like
two
when
go
they went
crazy.
underground and there was the alligator. I was like, okay,
Oh, bro, you missed the best parts.
I probably did.
Slept on it.
Anyways, Hot Toys is excited to share a new collection with the world this summer. Soon you will meet collectibles from Kamen Rider Black Sun. So that's the thing. Anyways, moving forward.
None of us know what Black Kamen Rider is, so
Star Trek Voyager Lieutenant Junior Grade Tom Paris by Exo6. This one is 170. Pre-order ends June 27th. Delivery is August 2023.
bro, this guy's giving off serial killer vibes.
I will be
Smile,
honest.
bro.
This is fucking awful. I don't know. And like it's bad, and it's made worse by bad product photography, because these photos look like two completely different skin tones. It's hard to tell really what you're getting with this. And I know, right? Like, this is a $170 figure, and Hot Toys are, what, $290 for, kind of entry level figures. So I understand that, you're getting, in a way, you're getting what you're paid for, but God, this is rough. And I mean, like I said, all the photos, like, I mean, even just these two side by side, like they're very different skin tones, and it's really hard to understand.
I feel like they should be swapped with that lighting.
Yeah,
this
it's
one
just
on
hard.
the left is more orange. This one's more like white light.
Yeah,
but the figure on the left is more more white light, and the figure on the right is orange.
Jesus, you didn't clear your throat.
I did.
Got that Marco Rubio throat, bro. Just get that sip of water, bro. I don't know, man. This, and then like it's blurry on the right photo. Like I don't know. Like it's a product photography issue, and it's just a general quality issue. I think these, like I'm not seeing it, to be honest. I don't know.
Ben, you're the expert. What do you say?
Yeah, you're Ben. Is this good? Is this bad? Like I cede to your judgment.
This is not good, unfortunately. So the Voyager Exo-6 line so far has been by far the softest line. A few weeks ago, we looked at the Harry Kim. Remember, I compared him to Sculpted Butter. The Captain Catherine Janeway, same. It's really just really soft. There's been a couple in the Voyager line that are decent. The 7 of 9 was decent, and I think the Tuvok was decent. But this seems like it's going just the wrong direction. I gave this on a review video I did on my show today, like a 5 out of 10. Honestly, like it's for the price point. Normally, I would say this price is pretty good, right? It's not terrible. If you want to get this figure in hand, for the record, this is probably the only time we're ever going to see a 1/6 scale Tom Paris. So if you're trying to build your Voyager collection, this is the opportunity to get at least the body and the figure. You can have it strategically positioned with some lighting that I think it could look like a cool setup. I'm not expecting Inart quality head sculpts at a $175 price point. I'm just not. On the other hand, if they baked this in the oven for just a little bit longer, I feel like it could have at least got to like an 8, but to me, I asked the question today to the community, like, is this a different team that's working on these figures versus some of the other Exo-6 figures that we've seen? Because there's been like such a weird roller coaster of quality. Some figures are pretty decent. Some figures like this are just really not great. Even the tailoring on the outfit here is really baggy in some of the photos. I can see that, like, I think in a weird way, even though I call it a 5, I still see Tom Paris in there somewhere. But just like the Harry Kim, it's got that waxy paint aesthetic that really makes it look like that Barbie doll, Ken doll that people are saying in the chat. I agree with that. Even the accessories that this guy comes with, he comes with a Type 2 phaser, he comes with like a tricorder, he comes with his personal access display pad. Those are now all recycled accessories between several of the other Voyager line figures. So you're not like, why can't there be an efficiency of price? Up to a certain extent. If all these characters are coming with the same accessories, why isn't it a little cheaper? Make it a cheaper costing line if you want to cheap out on the quality. While I would argue to myself that Star Trek characters don't always come with a lot, this show had 7 seasons of television. There's lots of things Tom Paris liked to do on his off time that you could have had a couple of little Easter egg accessories in there that would help to justify the price, other than just a pad, a phaser, and a tricorder. Those should be standard with any figure, but you should get some efficiency of cost. So at the end of the day, I would say, unfortunately, this is another pass on the Voyager line, and Voyager is my top 3 favorite Star Trek franchises. So it's heartbreaking. I'm just nervous now about what we're going to see from the next generation line, because that is the line that I'm most anticipating. But I will tell you right now, if next generation shows this level of quality, I'm out. I'll save my money for other collectibles that are hitting the market, and go from there. So it's been a pretty divisive conversation in my chat today on the Ben Thomas show, but I would say that 90% of people are unhappy with it, and there's about 10% of people that are still at least happy that they're getting to complete a Voyager bridge crew. So
wow, there you go. Let's move on. Dean the Dream Martin, Sonic Prime. Tell me about it. We got let's see.
This is wave one. So Sonic Prime is a show that came out on Netflix like a few months ago. I was like, maybe, man, I don't even remember when it came out, but it's only a few months old. So this is wave one. You got Sonic, Tails, Thorn, and Mr. Dr. Eggman. This is like Sonic's take on the multiverse. If you watch the show, shit hits the fan in episode 1, and he is sent to an alternate reality. And every time he solves a problem in a reality, he gets sent to another one. And so there's the main cast of crew, right? Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Amy, Dr. Eggman, whoever. And in every reality, they're different. So in one, they're like cavemen. In one, they're pirates. In one, they live in like a cyberpunk-esque world, and the Dr. Eggman is like 6 different Dr. Eggmans, and they kind of find out what like Sonic's able to do, and they want to harness his power somehow. So he's kind of running along and solving problems and trying to fight Eggman. So that was wave 1, and then wave 2 was leaked. So another version of Sonic, another version of Amy, Knuckles, and Shadow. And Shadow is like the guy who actually knows what the hell's going on, but you don't see him until like the very end, and you're just like, oh shit. Like when everything comes to a head, like that's when the season ends. Season 2 is coming, but if you like Sonic and haven't watched Sonic Prime on Netflix, I'd say give it a shot. It's really fun. Lots of good messaging, but you know me, I love Sonic figures, and I'm picking up all these because they're each charming in their own way. Every time, it's almost like every episode he goes to a new reality. So,
are these complementary to the Sonic figures you already have? Like, are they kind of variants or alternates of those?
Yeah, sort of. So, whereas this is a show, those are the video game, but there is kind of like a Sonic canon timeline. Mm-hmm. And as far as I know, this is a canon event.
Canon event,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So
his uncle died.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So just super cool. I love Sonic figures. They're very cool. They're just fucking impossible to order. I don't know what it is. Cannot find these for sale anywhere. And then 2 new figures just started hitting stores this week on the line that I currently collect, so I got to pick those up too. So Marco always likes to ask the question, how many of these could there possibly be? Currently, way more than I care to count, because, the games are a lot of deep wells they could fish characters out of.
My mind's blown considering we're in the multiverse. There are already that many figures, and then now there's like multiple variations of them. Goodness, they could milk this line for forever.
Oh, yeah, and I'd be there. And these are $10 each. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like so easy. It's like, oh, I'll buy the whole wave. That's only $40,
And they're pretty cool too.
Yeah, I love them. So I hope to have a really cool Sonic display when I'm done. So, yeah, I like it.
There we go.
Thank you for indulging me. I know
I'm
probably, I don't know anybody else that collects Sonic figures. Even, doing the show, no one's ever reached out to me. So if you're out there, let me know.
It's just you. Just kidding. I always, whenever I go to Walmart or Target, I'll take a gander into the Sonic aisle.
It's going to be
Same,
some
but I don't know.
baddie.
I don't know what he has though now. So I'm like, do you have this one?
You're like,
Dean?
there's
You know?
64 figures here. They're all different. I can take a video. I don't want to take photos. The poor
Sorry to
Target
cut you
worker
off,
has to put all
Marco.
those figures back. We're doing a 3,000 subscriber giveaway sponsored by Collector's Zone. If you want to enter, I dropped the link there in the YouTube chat. The bonus code for today's episode is Bendito, Bendito. And
Hello, I'm Bendito.
yeah, if you guys want to enter, that'd be great. If you're in the United States, we'll ship it to you for free, but we'll pay for shipping. If you're overseas, we'll give you a shipping credit, and you're just responsible for any VAT/taxes. But yeah, it's a great
What about
figure. A lot of
Canada?
people
Technically,
say-
we're not overseas.
Well, there's probably a C somewhere in between us.
Probably not.
The big C,
Some
aka
lakes.
Canada.
Chicago? Oh,
Wow. Jeez, that's a whole war zone. Anyways, so yeah, if you guys want to join that giveaway, there's less entries than I would think, but plenty of time to get in there. We're rounding the corner to 2,900, so probably in a few weeks here we'll do that drawing. When we draw, you have 7 days to claim your prize, or we'll redraw in the next episode. And yeah, it's a fantastic figure, and someone is going to win this bad boy. Shout out to Marcos at Collector Zone. Let's see here. Our main topic of tonight is video games.
bro. You and I are on the same wavelength, dude. I was trying to think of a good code to use for time for a bonus code, and I was like, oh, what about video games? I was like, nah, it might be too hard to spell. And then you said it right
Couldn't
as I
spell
was
it, though.
thinking it.
I could not spell it,
Vidja.
though.
Vidja.
Vidja games. Wow, did I not put these here? Hang on one second.
was like,
Technical
what is
difficulties.
Reddit up?
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, damn it.
I've never heard of the term Vidja games before.
Here, let's
by the way.
pause. We're going to pause for
That's
2
new to me.
seconds. We're gonna,
No, why don't we just talk about Sonic figures for the
Hang
rest
on.
of the stream?
Yeah, well, yeah.
There's
Dean,
an infinite number of those.
Dean,
Actually,
Big-
this is a canon event, me messing up the show sheet. So
Big Rib Dean asks, "Hey Dean, did you pick up the Red Sonja and Vampirella from Loose Collector?"
I did. They're on my desk right now, actually. Here they are.
Fantastic. All right, let's get back to it.
They're
Reddit.
badass.
We'll talk video games in 2 seconds.
If you
The
get them
Hot
cheaper,
Toys
you'll do it.
subreddit shut down, and I saw this post. And do you know what my first question was, Dean?
No. What was your first question?
I said, "Is the Latina MILF subreddit still up?" And it was.
Is it still good? Thank God.
It was. And so it will be back up allegedly. Adam, one of the moderators, put this message here on 16 Republic. I'm one of the mods of the sub. We temporarily brought it down as part of a wider protest against Reddit's API changes, though some subs are planning to go down indefinitely. Long story short, Reddit is paywalling their API at an exorbitant price. Some of the biggest apps are quoted $20 million a year, which is marked up 20 times what it is currently, and it's killing off a lot of virtual third-party applications. So the community will be back up soon. This is just a temporary protest, so if you're into the Hot Toys Reddit, you just have to wait it out, I guess. But
I was shook to not see it there. I was like, what happened? Did they get banned because they crossed the wrong company? Or so thank you for explaining this, because I had no idea what was happening.
yeah, Marco was freaking out. I was like, it's not really news, and he was like, it is a bunch of news, and I was like, okay, we'll run it.
Yeah, for someone who goes there like pretty periodically for it to not be there at all, it was concerning.
I thought it was because of all the passion around that blue cowl Dark Knight figure, because that's terrible.
Maybe.
Oh,
That's
I
right.
was worried, bro. I had to
Oh,
check
a
all
lot
my
of
favorite
negativity.
Reddits. All my favorite Reddits were still up, though. Now let's get back to video games. So Marco, the 64-bit fix, I'm going to have you lead us, and you just tell me when to change slides.
Yeah, sounds good. So this is video game announcement season. Traditionally, it would be E3 season, right? But since that's been canceled, there's been a bunch of like boutique or like smaller showcases. So we just had Sony showcase, I believe it was last week. And then this week we've got, the Summer Games Fest going on, which is run by Jeff Keighley, who does the Game Awards. We've got the Xbox showcase, which just occurred. There was a Starfield Direct, Ubisoft Forward, Capcom did a Direct. So all these companies are kind of bringing all of their properties, and doing their own announcements, which is pretty exciting. I still do miss E3, but it always like resparks a love from like video games for me. I'll be like, oh yeah, I still haven't played XYZ, or oh, I'm looking forward to this. And it kind of like, gets you excited for future video games. So we want to go over a few of the trailers that were shown, and then also kind of talk about the collectibles we may be getting from some of these, because a lot of these are really big properties from studios or properties that we've gotten figures from in the past. So naturally, we're probably going to get something in the future. So if you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. The first one we want to talk about is Starfield. And so I do have the trailer, Zach. I'll leave it up to you whether you want to play any of these or not. But if he doesn't, definitely go check this out. There's a big, long direct. And so Starfield is from Bethesda, who did Fallout, who did Skyrim, right, and all the Elder Scrolls games. And so this is a big, vast, open world, multi-planet travel with like intense character creation. So this game looks insane, right? And so go ahead, Zach. You're going to say
quickly,
something?
If the stream goes down, we'll start it back up again. Last time we played trailers, I got shut down. So
maybe just don't do the audio.
There you go.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
So we can commentate on it. But so basically, like, you could build your own ship. They kind of showed all these various, like someone built a mech style ship. Like it's infinite worlds, thousands of worlds you can travel to. A lot of it happens in real time, I think, from taking off into the atmosphere and landing. So It looks insane. But what do you guys think of this game?
Yeah, I'm always super interested in space travel games. I play Star Citizen, which has been going on for a while and has a lot of these same features. But the only problem I really have with this, well, I have two. It's a single player, and which there's nothing wrong with single player games. You can have a lot of fun on single player games, but dude, you're talking about a whole universe. I want to be running around with my homies, fucking mining, picking up bounties, whatever. So
man, I can't even find you on the map in Elden Ring. How do you think I'm going to find you in the fucking universe?
Yeah, you're not wrong. But it would just be nice to have a multiplayer thing. But also, Bethesda has a horrible track record of, and I've talked about this before. They reuse code from games from 20 years ago. There are problems in Oblivion that were still present in the latest Fallout game. It's like bugs that it's like, this shouldn't exist. And it's because they recycle their code.
All their games are janky though, right? Or kind of part of the character. It might sound like a cop out, but
yeah, it's just
at this point,
if I'm paying top dollar, it's a AAA title. Like I expect it to be ready.
And we do have to mention that this is an Xbox exclusive, or Xbox and PC, right? So if you have a PS5, you won't be getting this, which is kind of tempting me to get an Xbox. What you're going to say, Dean?
Yeah, it's just when it's become a huge problem with these AAA games to be not finished when they come out, and it's not until years later that it's finally a polished game. It's like, well, thanks, I guess. But Bethesda, with all the faults, usually deliver a really solid game. So I am excited for it.
As someone that has already been burned on a game like this, No Man's Sky. Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm also very curious about how they're going to handle world generation and creature generation, because, with No Man's Sky, it is procedurally generated and it can look really beautiful sometimes, and most of the time it looks really terrible. So I'm curious. Obviously this is a next gen game, so there's much more computing hardware behind it. I think No Man's Sky was very ambitious, and admittedly it did become a fantastic game after years and years and years of constant development. And so I do hope that they learn from No Man's Sky's mistakes. This looks neat, but until I see reviews, I'm not pre-ordering or putting money down, because I've already bought No Man's Sky at full price and got burned hard on that. So,
and I will say there's a $300 collector edition that comes with a watch that links up to the game. And so,
much.
But I think you're right. You can't pre-order stuff, especially because this game, when it drops, is going to have all types of bugs. You got to give it at least several months for them to work through some of the stuff. So yeah, I think you're spot on there, Zach.
Well, even with Jedi Survivor, it had a ton of bugs in the beginning that delayed people's ability to really, truly enjoy it. And so I purposely haven't even played it yet. It's been sitting on my shelf because I've been waiting for some of these ironed out things to happen so that I can enjoy the experience. I would say, at first I would be willing to have given some of the Fallout games a pass and Skyrim a pass for some of the bugginess. But they've had 2 decades now to really start pulling this shit together. I think at this point, it's no longer like what you said, Marco, which is kind of like I don't know how you described it exactly, but you're kind of like it's
janky,
but kind of like a nostalgic janky, like it's kind of part of the experience. I disagree with that. I think that is a little cop out at this point. I really think for the dollar amount these folks are asking for nowadays for video games, premium pricing, and I expect a pretty premium experience. This is a game that wasn't even on my radar yet, so if it came out and it's buggy, I would have rathered it sit in the oven a little bit longer. This is the first time I've seen this trailer, though. Maybe I should have done my homework before the show. I don't know if we were supposed to watch the trailer, but I love space exploration games for sure. I'm a Star Trek fan, right? I'm a Star Wars guy. Like, I want to go out and explore the universe. I love the procedurally generated universe of No Man's Sky, even for the planets that were boring, because it was like, cool, this is a boring planet. There's nothing here. It kind of gave it some character in itself, right? Which is cool. I'm excited to see what they can do here, but I agree. I think a multiplayer experience is a miss, unfortunately. Now, traditionally, multiplayer experiences with their online portals can get pretty cumbersome and tricky in their own right. They almost they need a different team for a multiplayer development aspect of a game. I mean, look what happened with Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, the online component of that game became what was consistently developed. They never went back to the main story game to give us DLC because everybody wanted online. It became its own thing. But that's part of the charm of that. It could have been part of the charm of this. This is going to be, for me, a wait and buy. A wait to see or wait.
And I would imagine that a multiplayer game will come out in this world eventually, right? But because it's so vast, they probably had to focus on one thing, which I appreciate. Don't try to cram all the features into everything. And then I will just say we can go on to the next one.
Go ahead, finish up.
Oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought. So let me just talk about Star Wars Outlaws here.
Sorry.
So this is all good. I did it to myself. So this is a Ubisoft game. Traditionally, I'm not a huge fan of the Ubisoft games because they're kind of generic, like rinse and repeat a lot of the times. But it seems like they have poured a lot of resources into making this look pretty special. So this feels, and Dean maybe disagrees with me, like the spiritual successor to that Star Wars 1313 kind of Uncharted inspired, like scoundrel world. So you're kind of getting into the underground. It's like, here's the Pike Syndicate as well. So it looks really incredible. And I'm, just over the moon to finally see this one. But what do you guys think?
So what is, obviously this is a very cinematic trailer, whereas the other one had a little bit of gameplay. What genre is this? Turn-based simulator? Is this first-person shooter?
No, so this is like an open world. So if you go to the link that I put in the document, it should go directly to the gameplay trailer. So there's a pretty awesome little sequence where there's a gunfight. She jumps on a speeder bike, or kind of an offshoot of a speeder bike. There's a beautiful cutscene, and then you see the ship jump into space. Here you go. This is the one right here. So yeah, I would say it's kind of Uncharted-esque, but maybe a little bit of Grand Theft Auto as well. Have you guys looked at this at all? Anyone on here?
Yeah. The only problem I had with it is this character has like a little lizard thing on her back, and she issues commands for it to execute, and it just reminded me of Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order.
It's BD.
It's like, okay, that's not the most original thing, because we've even had that in Battlefront 2. I forget the character's name, but she had a droid on her back as well.
Iden Versio,
thank you. And this looks incredible, don't get me wrong. It just didn't strike me as, the most original concept. That being said, I kind of hope they let you create a character, because I was talking with Marco in the chat. Like, we haven't had a character creation in a Star Wars game, I think, since the first KOTOR. So it'd be cool to, like, oh, it's my character in the Star Wars universe. I think that'd be really fun.
For this one, I feel they are going pretty heavy, like Cal Kestis, kind of creating a character that could maybe do crossover to other, live action properties.
Looks like she has a tail kind of there.
Yeah. But it looks cool. It reminds me a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda, if you guys have played that. Which I love the Mass Effect series, so I have zero doubt I'm not going to enjoy myself playing this. I just, those are just things I wanted to point out.
I liked seeing the Deadeye system there that she had, similar to Red Dead Redemption, where you kind of slowed it down. That was kind of cool.
Good catch, Ben.
That was pretty cool. I think this is going to be awesome. And I mean, for a first open world Star Wars game, we have needed a Star Wars game in an open world setting for a decade. I'm just happy now that we have the technology that can support a game like this. I hope that it comes out with a level of anticipation, with a level of quality that my anticipation is holding, because I'm pretty excited, honestly. I think this is going to be amazing.
I would normally say they don't fuck around with Star Wars games, but with the last one having issues, it's kind of hard to back that up. So
look at this, 51% say no to the portrait. This is I don't know, maybe people are just troll voting, but
that was like 75% yes at one point. You have been tweaking the numbers in the background.
It's on my emails. Okay, it's on my emails. How dare you?
So 2 points really quickly. So for Starfield, September 6, 2023 is the release date. So pretty soon, which is exciting. And then Star Wars Outlaws, it says 24. So who knows? That could be delayed, but sometime next year, if not into 25. This looks incredibly.
I thought was super surprising because this is the first time we saw the game.
I think companies are being a bit better about being guarded and announcing games closer to when they're going to release. I'm thinking they're picking up on that because you don't want to get folks anticipation up and then you delay it 3 years.
You're not wrong. Yeah, I was like, we got the announcement trailer, which was the CGI one, and then literally the next day it was like, oh, here's gameplay. I was like, oh shit. So this is actually maybe it could actually be 2024. It's slated kind of early, so I was shocked.
Apparently, they thought it was for the Tom Paris figure, so yeah, we'll give it a they did. We'll give it they did like it. Let's move on. Just so we're not here all night.
Yeah, so I do want to talk about figures for all these. I hope they don't pull a Cal Kestis and not give us a Hot Toys of her. If the game is really successful, if it ends up being a character that everyone loves, give us a 1/6 scale figure because we need more video game. And then what I wanted to mention on Starfield, the developers, there's like a 10-minute plus video where they kind of go in depth on the design choices. And they mentioned it's kind of steampunk mixed with NASA, I believe. So it's got its own unique style that I could see like figures and statues from.
It reminded me a lot of like Elysium, District 9, Chappie, those kind of mech designs. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And
so up next we have Spider-Man 2. Marco, go ahead and tell us about it.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2, I guess it's supposed to drop in October of this year. So October 20th is the date they put out there. So Miles, if you haven't played the spin-off game, Miles Morales, incredible as well. I think that was really well done along with Spider-Man 1. And so this kind of has Kraven in it. It's got Venom. We see the symbiote suit Spider-Man. So the possibilities for figures are really endless in terms of variations of Miles and Peter, the symbiote suit, Venoms maybe, and so we'll talk about Venom here in a second. But what do you guys think of this trailer?
Looks pretty good.
You had me in symbiote suit.
Yeah, this has got a...
I think the Hot Toys potential for this is gonna be fucking awesome. I would buy a Hot Toys symbiote suit day one.
Yeah, I mean the first game was so good, and it only got better with all the DLCs and stuff, which I think should have just been included with the base game. But it's neither here nor there. But it's such a phenomenal game, and then you got the inclusion of Miles in it, and it just got even better. So I'm super stoked for this. This is gonna be badass.
Yeah, is this a day one for you, Dean? Oh, sorry, Ben.
No worries.
I don't know if it'll be a day one because again, with like the DLCs and the patches and stuff like that, I might want to see what's on the horizon before I just jump in. But
wait for it to marinate.
I will own this game eventually.
Yeah. Same. Sorry, Ben,
so
you were
like,
saying?
I'm gonna book the day off. Honestly, for the original Spider-Man for PS4 at the time, I'd pre-ordered that and watched the countdown for about 30 days before it finally like allowed it to download. I was just so amped. This is probably my most anticipated game of the year. Honestly, as I said, I'm gonna take the next day off just to make sure I've got time to really stay up late and dive into it. So, yeah, very excited. And like Zach said, the Hot Toys potential alone is going to be pretty exciting. But like honestly, as long as I get a good symbiote suit Spider-Man and potentially a new Venom figure, I would be pretty stoked even just with that. So,
You think they'll reissue the Gamerverse Spider-Man?
No way.
maybe.
I mean, he's on the cover of the second
Yeah,
game.
I could see it.
I mean, I guess you could say the same with the advanced suit, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Like a reissue of that. Now, this is the digital deluxe edition. So, Marco, what do you get for buying this digital deluxe?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff, but you basically get a lot of unlockable suits, and a lot of these are not recognizable for me. Like I'm just not familiar with them, so they're not specific suits that I would have wanted. But I'm not a big comic book person, so maybe people in the chat can tell us if there's any that they're excited over. But Ben or Dean or Zach, any suits kind of stand out for you?
I could see Gigi in the stone monkey suit at Halloween. Honestly, I think you should send that to her with the collar. Could be look pretty.
Is that what that is? That's like the
That's what it says there. Stone monkey suit on the inside.
That's
there.
wild.
For real though, Marco and Gigi's costume suits were like top.
They were
tier last
amazing.
year.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
WandaVision.
Are these Assassin's Creed inspired ones on the?
They
far
look
right
a
as
little
well?
bit like that, for sure. I'm not familiar with any of these suits, but honestly, I think they all look pretty cool. Pete from OFAC the other day said the bottom right corner looks a little bit like a Power Ranger, and now I can't unsee that one as a Power Ranger. But otherwise, I think they're all pretty cool. And just the toyetic nature of Spider-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a ton of these. I do like the one with the hood up with the hair kind of like out the front as well. I think that's a badass look.
The red Spectre suit.
You know, Erwin is saying some of the suits might be original designs for the game. It'd be really dope if you can have kind of a Hall of Armor, kind of you see Into the Spider-Verse where he's got all of the suits and you go select one. That'd be a cool little wrinkle, but maybe someday.
Or to be able to customize them like Dean said about the other game. Like if you could do some
Yes.
character creation and make your own suit, that would be pretty cool.
I love character
That would
creation.
be dope.
Yeah, I'm a little. I mean, again, it's the launch, so 5 suits each seems a little small. I mean, in Spider-Man 1, we ended up with like 80 something suits or something like that.
Well, I think these are just the bonuses that you get for buying the. I'm sure there's
all
more
of those
suits
are
in the
bonus.
game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure seemed that way, yeah.
And you also get the physical collector's edition, so you get the steelbook display case, the full. Which it pisses me off they give you a steelbook and then you just get a digital download. I don't understand that.
Yeah,
So
it's the weirdest shit.
it's like here you
But
have to
none of the
actually
stuff-
buy the regular also.
None of the stuff is stored on the disc anyways these days, right? You get a disc.
It's not, but like that's the point, right? Like if you're making this disc for a penny, right?
Yeah.
Like why can't you include it? You get the 19-inch collector's edition statue, 2 early unlockable suits. You also get the 10 unique suits, the additional photo mode items, and 2 skill points, the web grabber gadget, and I guess 3 other skill points. It's weird. The statue looks fucking awesome, and if someone buys this and doesn't want the statue, holla at your boy. It's fucking awesome.
I've got a question for you boys then. So if Hot Toys makes this new Venom suit with the spider logo on the front, how big do you think it needs to actually be? Because if it's anything based on this statue from what I'm seeing, those Spider-Man folks up top look real small in comparison to the Venom. Like, I figure this is going to be, if we get it in Hot Toys form, bigger than the Carnage that we even saw recently.
Probably, yeah. If you think that that's 19 and like probably 3 of those are the figures, or are the base rather, you're looking at 16 inches tall.
Yeah, they look to be about as tall as his leg if they were standing up.
Yeah. I would probably say close to 20 inches for Venom.
Be absolutely massive, eh?
Well,
But
actually,
if
no,
you go
not
back
20
to
inches.
the-
Well, I don't know,
Sorry,
because
if
it's
you go back to
19 inches. Sorry, to Miles, it actually may just be like 12 inches tall. Because he's 12 inches plus the arms up, plus Miles on top. He actually may not be that large.
If you look at
Sorry,
the
Marco.
concept art in the first slide, there you go. He doesn't look as big. He looks big, but he doesn't look as big as the statue. So it could all be perspective, but I'm assuming that he's going to be a little closer to that Carnage size and a little
Yeah,
less
it might-
like triple
yeah.
their size.
And just a heads up, this is not Eddie Brock, right, for Venom, so that's a bit different.
Good catch. Yep.
Dean, Final Fantasy, what is this, 16? Okay, look at that. Roman numeral, baby.
There you go.
Let's see. Final Fantasy. Is there a trailer we should watch?
And this
for
isn't even
or?
the one that you wanted to talk about, right, Dean? You wanted to talk about 7 Rebirth, yeah?
Yeah, 7 Rebirth. Well, both of them. I mean, they announced both of them, or showed both of them. They put up 2 hours of gameplay of Final Fantasy 16, and dear God, that game is beautiful. Looking like it's going to be a really emotional story. It just looks so phenomenal. And Final Fantasies are always, I mean, they're always good. Like, even the worst ones are worth playing. Like, they do not fuck around when they make a Final Fantasy. So, yeah, this one just looks incredible. There's a little bit of back and forth on the timeline where you go back and play like 8 years before the story is actually taking place, and then you jump back and you kind of see what the characters were doing to get them to where they're at currently. So it was cool. If you got 2 hours to watch, I think it was 2.5 actually. Phenomenal. It looks so beautiful. So really excited about that.
The last Final Fantasy game I played was Final Fantasy X, I think. And that was, I don't know, what that would have been, PS2, maybe PS3?
Yeah.
And I remember,
the first game on the PS2.
I remember thinking back then that, like, I would just stand there and just, like, look around the environment. Like, it blew me away how good the graphics could be on a video game at that time. And I feel like Final Fantasy tends to set the bar pretty high that way. So for that alone, I would want to see that game just to see the artistry, like you mentioned.
Did you ever think about visiting this one, Final Fantasy VII, the remake? And this is obviously the follow-up.
I have thought about going back to it, mostly because of Dean, because he's talked about it a couple times.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy VII is without a doubt, even just based on number of games sold, like the greatest RPG of all time. The story is incredible. This is not a remake per se. They're like, it's really weird, and I could literally do a whole stream on it alone. But this is the second part to the game. This is going to come in 2 discs, so a lot of content. Because Final Fantasy VII is a very long game. Even if you're just running through the main storyline, it's like 70 hours, and that was back in 1997. And they made the first 4 hours of Final Fantasy VII into a 25-hour plus game.
So wild.
So the fact that this is 2 discs is very promising because they got a lot of story to get through, which I was worried about that they weren't going to, that they were just going to start cutting corners and like, well, you don't really need to do this, but it's almost its own game. There's elements of the original that, you know, drive the story forward, but it's clearly its own game. It's not a straight remake. The remake is like the timeline, which kind of pissed me off, but it's whatever. It's its own thing. So I got over it. But there's a lot of stuff in this trailer that's cool to see. Elena, the Turk, she's really cool. You get to see the High Winds. Now, if you've never played the original game, like none of this stuff means anything to you, but you get to see Juno, the canon. Sephiroth is saying some like real cryptic shit about Eris. See, there's the canon and the High Winds. Juno and Harbor.
Any potential for 6-scale figures that weren't, or characters that weren't in the first remake that maybe pop up in this game?
So Yuffie is definitely here. Now, she was part of the PS5 exclusive expansion DLC, but she's in the game now. And then there's really only 2 more characters that we should see. And if we're seeing the Highwind, we should see Sid. But he's not in the trailer. And then Vincent Valentine also, especially if you're going to be going through Nibelheim. I mean, he's kind of like a big deal. So, yeah, I'm super excited. I think just the first disc alone could be the flashback scene because it's so intense and there's a lot of story to get through. So, I mean, yeah, this is going to be incredible.
Quick question for you too, Dean. Just because, again, I'm very new to being interested in these again. From my recollection of Final Fantasy X, it was very turn-based in terms of its action. So it would be like you could attack, then the boss would attack, then you would attack, and like you had to strategize your attacks or you just get wiped out, and like you could change up the characters that were kind of in your posse. Is the fighting style still like that, or is it now more similar to like an Elden Ring, for example, where you're able to dodge attacks and like
Yeah, so
defend
it's
yourself?
it's a little bit of both. You have your party. You could take control over any character you want. It's free range, so you could run around, dodge, roll. But there is still an element of like you can't just like spam attacks. You gotta, what do they call it? You have like an A/B bar, and once you expend that, you gotta wait for it to come back up before you can start doing stuff again. So.
Because that's something I really disliked about Final Fantasy X, which is ultimately why I'd never beat it. Which I got pretty far into it, but I couldn't get past this one guy because he kept wiping out my crew, and I felt like I was just standing there letting the boss attack me, and I hated that feeling. Like I just felt you just feel helpless. I like the ability to dodge and roll and attack and whatever, hide if you need to, like all of the things.
There's definitely something beautiful about classic turn-based RPGs, but yeah, they're not for everybody.
For sure. I just suck at it, to be honest. Cool.
Up next, Dean, we got Sonic. Wait, Sonic Superstars?
Superstars.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that looks like Sonic 2. Love to see
Yeah, so this is a new Sonic game coming out, and it's side-scrolling like the original games, but it's 3D. Kind of like Sonic 4, but Sonic 4 was a fucking disaster. This looks like it could be pretty fun. You got the same classic characters, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and Amy. There's some other hidden characters in the background, like Knack the Weasel, or Fang as they call him now. I think Knack was his comic name, but yeah, it's a multiplayer game. The only bad thing about this is it's you have to be on the same console to play multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
So like,
okay.
I couldn't play with Ben, right? He's in Canada. I couldn't online multiplayer with him. You got to be right in the same room. So that's
How does this game work as multiplayer though? It's like such a fast-paced environment. I don't get that.
It works.
Sonic 2 used to be multiplayer technically.
Yeah, Sonic 2
really?
is multiplayer.
Yeah, your Tails.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Tails
Tails
with
you
you.
get Tails in there. That's right.
You could just drag Tails along though if they weren't keeping up. Like my little sister
Yeah.
used to play with me. You just kind of drag her along.
Yeah, and there's like some puzzles that's like Sonic can't do this. You have to be Knuckles to do this, or only Tails can do this. So there's definitely like elements of like a classic multiplayer where like it is teamwork. So
it really is cooperative. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
it's very cool to see that, because Sonic games are usually not for everybody. The 3D ones. So this, going back to just classic, Sonic Mania, again, that was only a couple years old. That was fantastic, very well received. So this is cool to see a new spin on that in the 3D world.
There you go. And fall of 23 too. So right around the corner.
It's awesome. I feel like I'm more excited about this because you are, Dean. Because otherwise, I've played some dog Sonic games. There's been some ones that I just
there's
really
really
didn't
bad
enjoy.
Sonic games out
Yeah. So fair.
So Zach, I know we don't have to go too deep into this one. This is basically
This
Avatar with
looks
the
terrible.
Far Cry. Yeah. So that's the tough part, right? Because Avatar is such a beautiful world in the films. Then to translate that into a video game, there's obviously going to be not a great translation. It looks a little tough.
That looks like Manny Steel Pete. That looks terrible. I don't even want to talk about this one. Can we skip this one? Are you guys good with that?
Skip it, bro.
Yeah, I don't even think there's gameplay yet, so I don't even know what I'm looking at.
That's
I
Steel
think
Pete,
there is
bro.
some gameplay, but nothing too intensive.
Okay.
Anyways, let's move on here. Hot seat. I want to know. There's not really a lot of points here. What is your favorite video game ever, and why?
Easy.
And I think, Dean, you've already said it. I'll start with mine. I would say probably favorite, the game I've played the most, is probably Grand Theft Auto 5. I grew up on Vice City, Grand Theft Auto 3, but I've bought Grand Theft Auto 5 like 4 times for different systems. I still play it today with LSPDFR. It's such a fucking incredible game, and I know Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be really neat, but it's going to be hard for them to top Grand Theft Auto 5. Ben, tell me about your favorite video game and why.
So real quick, Dean made me buy the PS5 version of GTA 5 so we could play together, for us to log in, for him to then realize he actually only had the PS4 version and we couldn't play together. So then I had to convince him to buy it again so we could also then play together.
I was 100% going to buy it when I realized I made the mistake. He did not have to convince me.
I'm in Canada here. I can't play with my other friends. I can only play with my Texas friend Dean. My favorite game of all time is absolutely Zelda Ocarina of Time for the N64. A couple of reasons. Not only is it an amazing game, I loved some of the depth of the story. I loved the adventuring, or like the open world aspect of that game. It was one of the first times I ever beat a game that wasn't super linear, that didn't tell you what you needed to do next necessarily, that you had to just go out in the world and kind of like find shit, and pieces of the puzzle would start to kind of come together, and you'd realize, oh, if I do this, I can go back to the top of Death Mountain and get a big Goron sword and do a whole bunch of random stuff. It was amazing, and to this day, I play that game easily still, probably once or twice a year. I have it on my 3DS when I want to play it on the go. Absolutely, absolutely love that game.
It's a good pick. It's a really good pick.
Yeah, so I've got a tie here. Number 1, Madden 01 for PS2. That was like the first time I played a game, especially a sports game. I was like, this looks real. This looks like real life. You could see the stitching on the ball. It was incredible. And then The Last of Us, the original one on PlayStation 3. I think that was the most emotional a game has ever made me. And so still holds up as my favorite game. Yeah, it really is so special.
Yeah. And in case anyone's wondering, the original Final Fantasy 7. 1997 for me.
Wow, there you go. Let's see here. We'll just give everyone a point for that. Keep us all even keel. Wherever my damn points are, where are they at? Let's see. The Pose Wars. There we go. 3 points for Dean. 3 points for Marco. 3 points for Ben. Even across the board. You'll love to see it. Our movie of the week was Spawn. Covert government assassin Al Simmons is killed after being double-crossed by his boss, Jason Wynn. Upon arriving in Hell, Simmons is offered an opportunity to return to Earth if he's willing to lead an evil army, rather. He accepts, is reincarnated as a Hellspawn, a twisted, horribly disfigured version of his former self. However, Spawn serves as a force of good, much to dismay of the devil's henchman, a wicked clown played by John Leguizamo. This movie fucking sucked. Marco, I fucking hate you, bro. This movie was awful. Just CGI.
You and your hot takes tonight.
Holy cow.
You
he didn't like
this is just like the Loki head sculpt. Just like this classic ass movie.
To be fair, it's a classic movie, but it hasn't aged well. The CGI is awful.
It's pretty bad.
This CGI is terrible. You have to think of when this
no
movie came out and how good other movies CGI was.
Zach,
worse than fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
You know what movies they went on
How
to
dare
make
you.
after this, right?
The Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. How, bro? How? Did you know that? I didn't think you knew that. I knew that. I thought you were going to get me there. Yeah, Now, to be fair, when I was a young lad, we had this on the VCR, and I thought it was pretty dope. But it has not aged well. I'll say that. It has not aged well. Martin Sheen is so distractingly bad in this movie. Yeah. It physically hurt me to see Martin Sheen act this way. No, he was good, but it's... I don't know, that it's just there, and the clown and the awful CGI just, I don't know.
Okay, well, John Leguizamo is easily the best part of this movie.
You're not wrong.
Facts.
Minus the skid mark scene, that was awful.
Skid marks. Yeah. This movie is not good. It's really bad. And I remember vividly when this movie was coming out, they were like, look at the graphics on the cape. And it was like the first time Spawn was in like
the cape actually did look pretty sick in a few scenes, I'm not gonna
lie. And I just remember thinking like, oh my God, this movie's going to be awesome. Because me and my cousin loved Spawn. Yeah, I had the video games on the PS1. We had the toys, the comics, Medieval Spawn. Like, we were Spawn, fans. So when the movie got announced, we were like, hell yeah. And then this came out, and it was pretty devastating. I remember even back then thinking like, this is pretty bad. There's honestly not a lot of good things I could say about this movie. I'm gonna leave it there. John Leguizamo is the best part.
Okay, so this isn't a good film. It's not, right? And the CG is pretty tough in most of the places. But I think it's like overall, it's got the right vibe. Now, I wasn't huge into the comics, or I didn't watch the cartoon or the animated series. So, it was an interesting translation into live action. But Martin Sheen, I thought he was like an incredible bad guy. I really like John Leguizamo. The Malabolgia is how you say his name. That CG is some of the worst we've ever seen. But again, the vibe is so interesting. It's got this like intense 90s soundtrack and like all these dark flames, and it's about, someone going to hell and, being redeemed, and, the love of his family kind of carrying him through. So obviously those are aspects of Spawn that they got right in terms of the translation. And I do enjoy this film. Like, I remember as a child, really like, this is really dark subject matter, but really with some weird, interesting light tones added to it. Like the little dog Spaz, right? The family is all,
Bro, that
really,
dog got
really
kicked
sweet
like
as well.
3 times in this movie.
That's right. That's right.
Keep the shit out
That's
of that
not
dog.
great, but yeah, overall, and the costume's amazing. So overall, like, not a good film, but I would rewatch it again just for the vibe overall. Like, it's a very 90s vibe, and I think it's got a lot of redeeming qualities, although there are some really tough inconsistencies.
Okay, so you're not wrong. The CGI was pretty rough, especially like when he's down like in the depths of hell, and you get to see kind of the big fiery beast. Like that thing was a little rough for sure. But this movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. Honestly, it was like over the top dark at the time.
Ben, you were 11
like,
when this came out.
Yeah, I was pretty young. I was pretty scared by this movie. The clown always really freaked me out. I didn't know until this moment that that's John Leguizamo, though. That actually blows my mind. I had no idea that that's who that was. So,
He's like the
so
star
and now
of
I
the
can't
movie.
now I can't unsee it. Yeah,
In
not
the,
fair.
Like when the what do they call the opening credits? I think his name comes up first.
I've never
kinda
noticed.
fucked up.
Never noticed.
Also,
So-
these credits were long as like
They
it
were really.
made me really thankful that we don't do that shit in 2023. I'm glad we got
Oh my
rid
gosh.
of opening
They did
credits.
that in the Zack Snyder cut for Justice League, and I was like, oh,
wonder
gosh,
that
I
shit
don't
was, like,
miss
4
this
hours
shit.
long.
Yeah, that's right.
But I thought the movie was still really fun to watch. Again, to be honest, it had been a really long time since I'd seen it. It makes me very surprised that we haven't seen like a really good quality Spawn video game at some point in recent years, as well as like a redo of this film. I mean, I've seen in spoiler imagery that Jamie Foxx at one point looked like he might be interested to do it, and I think he would have made an incredible Spawn. Hopefully, he's doing well with his health. But I'm shocked that we haven't seen a redo of this film franchise again. That pizza scene where he's like the clown is eating the pizza and there's like he brushes the maggots off of it and stuff. That like I've got like a food poisoning thing and I'm like, ooh, that just like creeps me right out. So overall, I am happy I watched this again though. I had a fun time with it. Alfie snuggled me. It was a good time. Alfie's the cat, by the way, just so you know.
Wow, there's no judgment here. Ben, it is your choice for movie of the week. Do you know what you want us to watch this week?
So I wanted to pick Spaceballs, but I can't
Yes,
find. I don't know if I can find it on. Do you guys have it available? Because I
have it on DVD.
I can
I actually
download
have that
it,
on
but-
DVD. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm down.
Spaceballs,
Bro,
Marco, if you can do
Spaceballs
it.
is
let me
such
know.
a fucking banger, bro.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it.
Have you seen it, Marco?
15 years.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. So
He ain't
yeah,
found shit.
I would love to
Dude, I
revisit that
fucking
one.
love that movie. All right, let's we'll end the show here. Dean, let's say thank you to these sweet angels.
Yeah, give
that
a quick. Oh,
keep
sorry,
the network
go ahead.
going. No, it's okay. You're good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm
How
sorry.
dare you.
Give a quick shout out to the three pillars: Ian CB, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Quinn Aguirre, King Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Schreiber, Equan, Chris Valencerina, the beautiful Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joel Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns, Figs, Badfish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Kratt, Big Old Fern, Caesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DiGregorio, The Everyday Collector, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Alan Morgan, Tukathri Watt, Derek B., Arias Portillo, Mark Randolph, Alvin J., who's above Joe Ridley? I can't see that one. Jazz Carroll, thank you. Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC3PO, Scott Smith, Dalmaton, Jimmy James, Stephen Pritchett, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Parent, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of sweet angels.
Look at these sweet guys and gals in the Patreon. If you want to join Patreon, you can do so at the link in the comments. I think I pushed too many links, so my bad. The May-June shipping probably next week, the Question of the Week sticker and the Spooderverse sticker sheet. Dean has both of those. What do you think about them, Dean?
They're beautiful. They really are. I showed them to my mom today.
There you go. Alvin J says, great show as always. I'm not a video game person, but even that segment was entertaining me. Thank you, Alvin J, for the super chat, and thank you for the nice, kind words. We love you, bud. Patreon starts at $5 a month for the hot seat tier. Sweet Angel $7.50 sticker sent straight to your door and access to Ox After Dark replay. $15 certified crispy tier is your certified crispy certificate and assistance with figure fixes. The What a Guide tier is doubles of all the stickers we send and the Pog Deluxe set. YouTube channel members, we have Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andre, Andres IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Blurred Dad Life, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Eclectic Collector, Equan, Fat Batman, Care Bear, Gotham Cenobites, Jake, Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Cards, Museum, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Eddie, Money Mendez, Mr. Mom's Collectibles, Knight, OG Fan, OMFG Rick, 1/6 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Full, S-Beam, Sam Giss, Slifer, SpongeBob SquareBalls, Sunnyvale Russ, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Cartel, and Zeke. Thank you guys for your support. YouTube membership starts at 99 cents for Patreon members or $2.99 for the Peanut Gallery. Excuse me, you get loyalty badges and emojis and the member shoutouts every week. Here's the network. We had Collecting Weekly Live unboxing yesterday. We did Wanda and Luke Skywalker for Mandalorian. This Thursday we have OFAC podcast. I think it's about 2:30. Question of the Week every Sunday. The Reissue Monthly. Small Talk next Thursday. After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. Live and Let Dice recorded on Saturday. Then Bricks and Brews and Ox PD will be coming soon. Ox PD, we got to figure it out. They just updated the game. I think it was actually today. Yeah, I think it was on the 13th. And so the game, I got to wait till everything kind of updates and see how that's going to work. So stay tuned for that. TeePublic, if you guys want to buy some shirts, you can do so. And yeah, do you guys have any shout outs that you want to give? Joker J says he agrees, not in video games, but it was very informative nonetheless.
Shout out to my mom. She's actually been tuning in not only to Collecting Weekly, but also to the Ben Thomas Show recently. It's been kind of cool. So another way for her to connect, which is kind of fun. So she got me into all my
single guys.
She got me onto all the collectible shit that I'm into. Batman, Ninja Turtles, all the things. So
does she
got to give credit where it's due.
The only reason I'd bring this up is because you brought it up. Does she have her shirt yet? Her Ben Thomas shirt?
She does. And yeah, my stepdad's got one as well. He's got the hoodie. So I finally got my
exact design you're wearing right now.
No, not this one.
Oh, okay.
No. This is a one-of-a-kind, limited edition, Tough Nut to Swallow t-shirt. Only I will wear this in public. Well, when I wear this one to the gym, though, people are like, seems a little suspect, but...
If you know, you know.
They're not standing next to you in the lockers.
I want to give a shout-out to a special guy.
Thanks,
He doesn't know how important he is.
Thanks.
It actually is you, Zach.
What? Why?
Yeah, it's your birthday this week.
Oh, yeah, on Saturday. Thanks.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Happy early birthday to Zach.
Yeah, Rainer's birthday's on Friday, and then yours is on Saturday.
Need to steal my thunder, but
what the hell?
Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Happy birthday, Rainer. 46 has never looked so good for Rainer. You love
okay,
this.
Are you going to do a birthday stream?
I don't know. I may do one
Are
on
we
maybe
doing anything?
Friday. I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to do anything for my birthday yet because I was abandoned by a lot of people recently, and it still hurts.
Well, we usually go out for your birthday.
Yeah, I don't know. Likely yes. It'll probably be Saturday, and if we do a birthday stream, it'll probably be Friday after the Just Another Friday Night guys. So possibly.
I don't know.
I do
what time
want to
I'll
do a
be
birthday
back
stream
in
because
town.
Oh, you're going out of town?
We're going to New Braunfels for Rainer's birthday, but I don't know how late.
Oh,
we'll be
okay,
there.
that's cool. I think my invite probably got lost somewhere, so I understand.
Shout out to those guys actually too, Zach. The Another Friday Night guys on the Friday night
they had
stream.
a good show.
It was a really good show. I ended up
Oh,
I
it was
couldn't watch it
fun.
live, but it was a really good watch. If anybody missed it, definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
I was watching it live and I was just drawing and listening, and then I would type in, when I
chill.
had something to say. And then it ended. I was like, no, I wanted to keep going because it was so fun.
They're a good
Friendly-
crew, and it's nice to have them side by side, right? You kind of get that dynamic, and they don't cut each other
Yeah.
off like I just did with Zach.
How fucking
Wow.
dare you?
Yeah.
Friendly reminder: bonus code Bendito for our Carnage Collector's Edition giveaway sponsored by Collector Zone. We try to do these bonus codes every stream. Sometimes we forget, sometimes we don't. But if you have listened to the last After Dark, the last Collecting Weekly, Just Another Friday Night, and Small Talk, they should have all had bonus codes. So if you're a regular viewer of Collecting Weekly, you could really rack those bad boys up. But yeah, I maybe Friday I want to try to do something. I had so much fun at Ben's birthday stream, so yeah, we'll figure something out for sure. We'll definitely try to figure something out. Because Saturday might have my mom watch the baby, and you know how they, you know what I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. I might just get a good night's sleep for once. But
I'm also getting a package
home.
from Zach's Wonderland.
Yes,
soon.
yes.
I wonder if I should do a live unboxing of that.
Oh, you should. I'm worried
Yeah?
it'll arrive
Okay.
broken, but yeah.
Oh.
I
Cool.
sent Ben a birthday package. You've been dealing with a lot, so unintentionally, me, Marco, and Dean sent you a package, but then you're like, "Oh, it's our birthday." It's like, "Oh, it's a birthday gift." Of course, I knew that.
These are awesome.
So
Gonna
there you
totally
go.
unbox that. So stay tuned.
oh, if you do it live, what show would that be?
We do it.
on?
We could do it on
Probably,
Monday night unboxing.
No, I can't wait. I want you to open it early. Just do it live somewhere.
Do Friday
I'm so
night.
excited for you to get it. And Ben's such an optimistic person because I was like, oh, it's scheduled to be delivered Friday. And he's like, and I was like, but, things happen. He's like, oh, yeah, it could arrive earlier. And I was like, Ben, you are so positive because I was like, bro, that shit could be like lost in space for like 3 weeks.
That hardly ever happens. Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking sweet guy. I love Ben so much. Actually, Ben sent me a really nice message the other day, a voice message, which if your name is Ben Thomas, you're probably the only person I will ever listen to voice messages from because I have a standing procedure where I don't do that.
I was driving. I was trying not to text.
No, you were driving, but I guess it was such a long message. For some reason, it played at like double speed, and I know you weren't talking that fast. It's like, hey, Zach, it was like real fast, but it was a really nice message.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, that was such a nice message, but like it's twice as fast as you recorded it. So I never really got to tell you that, but it was a really nice message that you sent me.
Love you.
Yeah, we unbox. Love you too, man. We unbox things here. We're at the end of our show, so we're just kind of free forming a bit.
Dean just left. He's like, I'm out.
Dean's like, fuck it, I'm out. Anyways, yeah, shout out to Just Another Friday Night. They're when I talked to Chuck after the show, I called them both, and they were like, holy shit, we were so nervous. Like, we're not used to that many comments, and the super chats are coming in, and we didn't really know what that was. And I was like, yeah, they gave you like $25, and you didn't even really acknowledge it. And so it was funny. They're good.
They admitted live on air that they didn't know what it was. So I
Yeah, no. I'm yeah. So, but anyways, enter the Carnage giveaway. After Dark tomorrow. Ben Thomas show on Sunday. LW on Friday. Right? That touches all the boxes.
That's right.
There you go. There
You
you
got
go.
one more box to
touch
touch,
all
but
the
that's just for your
boxes.
birthday.
Whoa! Wow. I can't wait to open my birthday present. So Dean was there when we bought it.
Yeah, it's cool. I've never
was
seen a
there.
pocket pussy that big.
Oh my god.
Wow, it was my favorite porn star. It was a lot of vagina.
She's at the end of her career. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a lot of mileage on that. A lot of mileage. That rubber is
Looks
burnt.
like a box of cow tongues.
Jesus Christ.
Little lingua. Yikes.
Anyways, I don't know. You want to throw out another bonus code, Dean, or we're good with just the one? Bonus code lingua. Just kidding. Bonus code. Let's see. Ben, give me a bonus code.
I was going to say tongues, but I always have a hard time spelling that, to be honest.
TONGUES. We'll do another bonus code. There's 56 people here. We're just bullshitting. We got like 57 people watching. So bonus code. That's like
Keep it rolling.
3 bonus codes today. Oh, that's 2, but. Anyways, enter another bonus code. I don't care.
People don't want the show to end. Let's just run it back. Start
All
from
right,
the
let's go.
beginning.
Start all over.
Start again.
My name is Zach, and I am the first collecting. Well, Spider-Man style.
Yeah. Let's run
Let's
it
start
back
from the top. Yeah,
one more
let's-
time.
One more time.
Wait, time out. Can we go? Y'all cool to go for a little bit longer?
Yeah,
Sure.
No, they don't have to go.
I'm not driving.
All right. All right, bro. I haven't listened to y'all's Spider-Verse stream yet. I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow at the gym, but
Fake fan.
You've since seen the movie?
holy shit. Okay, when I left the theater,
Oh, that's right. You had really terrible
I
takes on it.
was a bit lukewarm because I really don't like it when films do like the part 1, part 2. And I know they've dropped it from the marketing, but it's very much a part 1 film, right? Like it ends on a cliffhanger, but not like a good cliffhanger. Empire
I have a
Strikes Back. That's
counterpoint
a
to this.
great cliff. Okay, sure. And I was like, man, that I don't know. That like we gotta wait a year. The fucking first film took 5 years. The second or whatever, you know what I mean? 5 years later, and they say it's coming out next year, but who knows? But then I go on TikTok, the greatest app man has ever created, and the little subtle. Now let's be spoiler free here, okay? The little subtle things that were in the movie, in the first film, that tie into this one, bro, fucking blew my mind.
That's why I almost bought it for $12 today and then put it back on the shelf.
You should have bought it for $12, you fool. And I was like, damn, that made. And then, not only that, there were scenes in the movie where characters are doing stuff, kind of like you blink and you miss it, right? Spider-Punk, Miles Morales, just so many little scenes.
Every frame is like packed with so much shit. Like,
and then little. I don't know if this is a Photoshop, but a lot of people are saying the fucked up face popsicle Spider-Man is in the movie. I think that's a fake Photoshop. But the spider plush, bro, going for Miles' dome, bro, fucking shot across the street and try to kill my mans. After seeing all that, bro, I went from like a 8 out of 10 to like a 10 out of 10. I can't wait to see it again.
good man.
It was such a good movie, and man, I really wish I had seen it. I saw it the day after y'all recorded, so I was super bummed that I couldn't stay for that. But yeah, your counterpoint.
So I just think the film didn't overstay its welcome, right? It gave me pretty much everything I could have wanted. If it went on another 20 minutes to try to wrap up all the stuff that it's, kind of led to, I think it would have been diminishing returns. Like, it was perfect to me. It wasn't a perfect film. There's plenty of issues, but it was so well done that I was completely satisfied with the experience. And yes, I did have to pee by the end, so I was like almost like a mercy kill. Like, okay, we're done, because you can almost breathe because there's so much going on that it's like
really
intense.
is
It
a
takes
lot.
your breath away.
Yeah, the memes have been fantastic. I gotta wonder what the fuck Lego Spider-Man did to be the only Spider-Man that Miguel respects, because that man, he's like, bro, you're my fucking guy, bro. Like, what did this dude do? I don't know. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that kind of struck me as odd is, there's all. Oh man, I can't want to get into spoilers, but there's just like so many little, like, because they bring in like live action scenes, they bring in like the Lego stuff, and they're like, if you know, this isn't really a spoiler, but in Homecoming, the Prowler is in Homecoming and he mentions his nephew, right? So like that's Aaron Davis. Like that gets brought up. Like the only thing that kind of bothered me,
post-credit scene as well that has a further connection from Homecoming. There's a
from Homecoming,
post-credit
yes,
scene, right?
yes.
Or deleted scene. Okay.
Yeah, the one thing that struck me as odd is I think they gave us almost every fan favorite Spider-Man variation, right? Like Ben Reilly, all kinds of different, Spider-Rex, all kinds of cool things. And I guess I understand that symbiote Spider-Man is just Peter Parker, like the main continuity Peter Parker from the comics. But I thought it was odd that at least as far as I could tell, there wasn't a symbiote suit in the movie. And I hope that they bring that into the third one, because I feel like that would be really cool. Spot is a fantastic villain. Obviously starts off kind of silly. By the end, you're like, oh shit, this is like a threat level midnight. Man, what a good film. I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you've turned a leaf on the movie because your takes were awful before.
I will say though, the art direction is kind of whack in the movie. There's like so much unfinished backgrounds. It really took me out of the film.
You were crazy.
Bro,
It's the most artistic. Yeah, like I've never seen anything so artistic in my life.
Bro, I'm gonna start a drawing and then stop like 20% in, and if you don't tell me it's the most artistic shit you've ever seen.
There was one scene where like there was like the walls were dripping in behind Gwen, and I almost.
How fucking dare you? That's a masterpiece.
So I've seen, some analysis that the background may be a bit blurry in certain scenes because Miles' future is uncertain. He can't just jump out into the city. Like the picture isn't clear for him. So that's kind of one way that they're fainting that. Is that the correct way to say it?
Feigning, I think is the word.
Feigning. There you go.
Feigning. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. I enjoyed it. Bro, the twist at the end, bro, punching the balls, bro. Did not see that coming at all. That was fucking incredible. And I knew it was coming, and it's still, like, not because I was spoiled, but if you pay attention on some of the things in the background, you should have known. But damn, oh my god. And I always say this about D&D, like sometimes we get into these situations like this episode, the last one. Like you guys are in a pretty fucked up situation, but I know it's going to be resolved very quickly. And I feel like this cliffhanger is going to be resolved extremely quickly. And I don't like that, but I like that. It's a weird feeling. But yeah, man, what a movie. What a movie. I can't wait. I would probably say best movie I've seen this year. I didn't see Avatar 2 in theaters, but I was really impressed.
Movies that come after this are going to have a hard time, competing. Was it Everything Everywhere All at Once that came out last year? Or was it the year before?
That movie. I've tried
Last
watching
year.
it 3 times.
That movie was awesome.
That was probably my
love that
favorite movie from last year. Yeah, so I was like, when I saw it, I was like, there's no way Multiverse of Madness is going to be better than this. It's what I kind of feel about The Flash. Like, okay, I'm excited, but they've already done the multiverse as about as good as they could do.
That's kind of like the only negative thing I had to say about this movie is we've gotten so many multiverse things.
It seems very played out.
Yeah. It's like not even just with the Marvel property, just in general.
I knew it jumped the shark when Sonic did a multiverse. I was like, okay, well, this thing's fucking done.
Oh, okay. Well, he literally jumps over a shark in that show, so you can eat a bag.
Well, there you go.
I know who didn't jump over a shark. I saw the video on YouTube. Alvin J says, do you guys think we'll see any different figures from this movie other than what's been released? I think we need to see a Peter B, because we didn't get one from the first film, even though I don't think he really deserves one.
He's just in robes in this movie.
Yeah.
He's not even in a suit.
Yeah. I don't know, because there are so many spider people, and I don't think we'd get that many. So what do you think, Ben?
Peter B didn't stand out to me as much in this film as he did in the first movie, but
Spider-Punk, obviously.
Spider-Punk was awesome.
Spider-Punk was badass.
I really like Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider. Some of his scenes are just hilarious. Done by Andy Samberg. So good.
Was it Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
During the movie, I was like, that sounds like Andy Samberg,
Andy
but I wasn't
Samberg,
sure.
Yeah. And also, I love the way he was drawn. I would love to see that figure in 6
It was
scale.
fantastic.
If Hot Toys is smart, and I know we're going to see these figures in the or these characters in the third film, but they would just do like a Spider-Verse branded like trilogy of figures and do Peter B, do Noir Spider-Man. Like, just go back and dip right now. Don't even wait a year. Just start giving those announcements to us right now because the hype is so real. Like, they should capitalize.
The other thing is, Zach, when we saw the Lego scene, I was like,
awesome.
oh, maybe our theory of the
Ben, when that
2099
happened,
spider
I was
suit
like,
being a
if this
toy is
motherfucker is
actually
correct-
true.
If this motherfucker is correct, bro.
I would have loved it.
Did we see Spider-Man Noir in this movie?
Yeah, at the very, very end.
Which one's Spider-Man Noir?
He's played by
Oh,
Nicolas Cage,
yes,
right?
he's right at the very, very end.
Right at the very end.
I don't remember seeing
Him and
Penny.
thank you, Penny.
I remember
I
seeing
we said we
Penny,
wouldn't
but I
say
don't remember
spoilers, but then
seeing-
half of this is
Oh,
spoilers.
Yeah, I know.
God damn it! Sorry.
I mean,
Do you
is
have
it
a
though?
penny?
Sorry to everybody watching.
Do you have a penny collectible?
No, I wish I did.
I'm shocked.
Like a ramen maker or
Legitimately where my
some
mind
sort
is
of
going.
yeah, some sort of a soup.
Okay,
type
we guys are
con-
buttholes. Can we end the show?
Yeah, let's end the show. All right, love you guys. My name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Benito.
We'll catch you. Oh, look at this. Peter Parker was Peter Palmer originally in the 60s. Wow. Anyways, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye. Jumbo.